All right, it's been a while, but we're back. Just going to be a little sketchy, as I said, going down the line for a little while, but we will continue to persevere. Since I can't do this full time, got to pay the bills, real jobs, all that kind of stuff. All right, so it's a very, very tight race coming down to the end of this Ned McGreevy League. It's been a lot of fun. We still got a little ways to go, probably another couple weeks or so, with this work schedule and everything, probably a little bit more than a couple weeks, but still winding down. Not wanting to really start another project yet. Hopefully, those of you who joined us today on Steve Tate's channel for just testing out the two teams of Negro League All Stars. Hope you enjoyed it. It was a fun game to say the least. So I'll be continuing to helping Steve testing those files as he keeps creating, and we move toward having 8 to 10 teams for a draft league later in this year. First step will be, of course, getting a couple teams all honed really well and tested out so that we can do an all-star game on Black History Month, and putting in some additional kinds of things with that, hopefully. So do stay tuned for that. And then with that league starting later in the year, and then eventually merging it into after we do a league with that. That's not sure yet how that's going to play out. That's probably going to be a tournament rather than a season. Since the season thing didn't work out, it worked out okay here with McGreevy, but I think a tournament will give us a pretty good and just a lot of fun, just to change it up a little bit. And then also there's the 1960s Draft League once this ends. So I really don't want to go too many projects at once right now, especially with the schedule. So that being said, thank you, Ned, and he's going to go back to the pub. So here we are, and tonight there is no question at all what game we're going to be playing, and that's going to be a battle between the first and second place teams, Philadelphia visiting Manchester. Philadelphia a game behind, just a game behind. So Manchester, the first team to get to the 70 win threshold. They are 70 and 59. Philadelphia, just a game behind them at 69 and 60. And then Cleveland, just 2 games out at 68 and 61. Providence, 67 and 62, and 3 games out. So those are kind of the top 4 teams. Then we get into the middle of the pack with Butler and Liverpool at 5 games out. Bellingham is 6 games out. Carolina 7, Arsenal 8, and St. Louis 18. So St. Louis with a chance, really not to even play any spoiler. Well, maybe against Butler. Since Butler's 5 out. St. Louis faces Butler tonight. The other games on tap would be Carolina at Cleveland, Liverpool at Providence, and yeah. So there we go. Buckle up, enjoy the game, and for those of you hanging out, appreciate it. Appreciate it. Going into tonight's game, Jack Feaster down under the 2.00 earned run average. So we have 5 pitchers leading the league in earned run average. Walter Johnson comfortably leading at 1.13. Pete Alexander 1.84. Ed Walsh 1.91. John Ward 1.98. And Jack Feaster at 1.99. So, and then topping the earned run average in the 2.00 and above is Rube Waddell at 0.200. Haas Radborn has reached the 25 win threshold. He's also reached the 20 win threshold. And we have 4 other 20 game winners, Ed Walsh, Ed Plank, Christy Mathewson, Pud Galvin. And then we have 3 pitchers getting close at 18 games, 3-Figure Brown, Addie Joss, and Mickey Welch. Strikeouts, Rube Waddell at 209. Walter Johnson, Christy Mathewson, and Cy Young each at 179. So those are our pitching. Just a quick look at a few of the pitching leaders that we have, and let's get to the ballpark for today's game between Philadelphia and Manchester. right. And there we go. And let's look at pictures. And let's see what we have here. And it looks like we're going to see Jake Weimer tonight. So Jake Weimer will be taking the hill for the Manchester Red Bolts. Let's get to the ballpark. All right, welcome to Ebbets Field for today's game between Philadelphia and Manchester. Christy Mathewson takes the mound for Philadelphia. 33 starts in the year, and he is 20-11 with an ERA of 2.09. This will be his fourth start against Manchester, and he's 1-2 with a 4.40 earned run average against them. He'll be opposed by Jake Weimer from Manchester. He's made 23 starts in the year, and he is 13-12 with an ERA of 2.02. This will be his fourth start against Philly. He is 2-1 with a 2.48 earned run average against the Quakers. 78 degrees at game time. Wind speed 4 miles per hour in from right center field.
Play ball!
All right. Got to watch a really nice documentary called The Ghosts of Flatbush today, which answered my question about that flag out in deep center field, and it was there. So I thought that was some sort of artifact from this photo of a very early Ebbets Field. I believe this photo was, or this painterly thing, whatever it was done was around 1916. Ebbets opened in 1913, so that was definitely in play. A lot of things, of course, you're not seeing in this Ebbets Field, but this is the one that the Manchester Red Bolts call home for this. So George Van Haltren will lead it off for second place Philadelphia. Philadelphia, again, just a game back in the league. Van Haltren hitting .251 with a home run and 32 runs batted in. Jake Weimer ready to work now on a beautiful day in the Flatbush section of Brooklyn. The lefty, the 1-2 pitch. And infield looking bunt from Van Haltren. And Van Haltren chopper to short. Joe Tinker arranging to his left on to Dan Bruthers for out number one. Hey, Cousin Ken, good to see ya. All right, 1 up, 1 down for center fielder Bill Lang. He is .280 with 6 runs batted in. Southpaw fires it in. 1-1 pitch. Curveball swung on base hit into left center. Jesse Burkett up with it as Lang makes the turn at first. So first base hit of the game here, and Philadelphia has it top of the first. Definitely a marquee matchup tonight, Cousin Ken, absolutely. So the manager of Providence Liberty Tree. Providence not out of this race by any stretch. Here is Eddie Collins. So they got speed on the base paths and Bill Lang for Philadelphia. And Lang, only 16 steals in a season, not getting a lot of playing time. Schalk sets the target for Weimer. Weimer checks the runner, throws over. Lang dives back in. Safe under the Bruthers tag. Weimer comes home with it now to Eddie Collins. There goes Lang, and Ray Schalk will just hold on to the ball. So Lang steals number 17. Uncontested runner in scoring position for Philadelphia. 1 out. The 0-1 pitch to Eddie Collins. Changeup swung on, sent to center field. Chickstall coming in, and to his left will make the catch. Lang tagging at second will hold. So 2 away, and that brings up George Davis. I've been posting some videos in our baseball Discord, and hope you guys are checking them out. There's a great one, again, as I mentioned earlier, called The Ghosts of Flatbush. And it's absolutely wonderful, and I suggest you check it out. It's a great story. Posted a link to a movie the other night called The Soul of the Game, which really focuses on Branch Rickey, Jackie Robinson, Josh Gibson, and Satchel Paige. Another wonderful resource. Good stuff to just watch. So hopefully you're enjoying that. All right. Robbie, as far as your Diamond Mine League, what we'd like you to do maybe, I've given it some thought, not on the final night of our regular season, but if you could play out your regular season maybe on the night before, only because we put so much work in this, I'd like to actually get this out of the way. Right, just get this one done with, and then maybe we can do a broadcast after that and right before our World Series in this Ned McGreevy League in Action PC Baseball. And then you can sort of go over a lot of league highlights and stuff, so that way we don't crang the two together. So if that'll be fine with you, I know that's what you want to do, so that would be really cool. Really appreciate it if you do that. Because having your results kind of after this that we've played through and stuck through, I'd like to sort of make it its own separate thing. And that helps spotlight you, and it helps keep the two projects kind of separate. All right? And I'm doing well. All right, buddy. I mean, of course, you always have the you can always just do that up on your channel if you'd like to. So, well, it's going to be, we'll announce that it'll be like tomorrow's the last day of the regular season or whatever. So if you would just play everything up to the end or whatever, we'll work that out as the time gets close. Again, for my work schedule, right now it's a little bit tricky to say exactly when, but of course, that way we'll get 2 of the 3 done. Clinton's is probably going to take a while, so we'll just move on to other projects, and we'll give Dead Ball a little rest. I do have something planned for Dead Ball, but not on Action PC Baseball. It's going to be in Baseball for Windows, but I'm kind of holding on to that right now till I decide just exactly how I want to do that. So Dead Ball is going to get a short rest, but it will be back. All right. So George Davis batting with 2 down. Davis, the third baseman, hitting 203 with 3 home runs and 39 runs batted in. And Southpaw Weimer has the sign from Ray Schalk, the wind, and the 0-1 delivery. Fastball swung on this one. Bounding ball to third, and Bobby Wallace coming in quickly on that, making the diving stop and the throw on to Bruthers to retire Davis. So inning over, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, a man left on. We go to the bottom of the first inning. Quakers nothing, and the Red Bolts coming to bat. Christy Mathewson, big 6, takes the hill for Philadelphia. Jesse Burkett to lead it off here. Burkett hitting 307, 38 runs batted in. So Burkett within the top of the leaders in batting average, not the top. That belongs to Nap Lashway. Cupid Childs waits on deck. Big 6 has the sign from longtime battery mate Chief Myers. Mathewson deals the 0-1 pitch. And Burkett pops this one high on the infield. Eddie Collins calling for it and takes it in his glove. 1 up, 1 down for Cupid Childs, second baseman, at 246 with 33 runs batted in. So Matty very quickly, 1 up, 1 down. Mathewson's delivery here, the 2-2 changeup. Chop to second. Eddie Collins will go to Hickman at first, but not in time. It looked like that ball short-hopped Collins from our vantage point. And Cupid Childs with the infield hit. So Childs at first. He does have 29 steals in the season. And here's Big Dan Bruthers hitting .312, 6 home runs, 53 runs batted in. Mathewson with a check of the runner. And there it goes. Childs, the throw down by Myers, the tag by Van Haltren. Cupid Childs is caught stealing. So 2 away. Chief Myers anticipating the attempted steal. And Bruthers now batting with the bases empty, 2 down. Mathewson delivers. Curveball, base hit into center field. Bill Lang up with it. Second base hit for Manchester in this game. Bruthers aboard. And so Bruthers, in addition to an excellent .313 average now, with 26 steals. So Bruthers, one of the more powerful players in this absolutely stellar league that we have going on. These great players between 1880 and 1919. Here's Chick Stahl, 259 hitter, 35 runs batted in, and a home run for him. Bruthers, good leadoff first. Mathewson checks the runner. And there goes Bruthers. Myers, this throw is going to get past Van Halteren into center field. Lang's throw will not be in time. Bruthers picks up the steal. And thanks to the throwing error by Chief Myers, Bruthers ends up at third. So Manchester just knocking at the door, 90 feet away. Stahl back in the box. Will this be a costly error, or will Mathewson shut it down here from the stretch? The delivery, the 1-0. Stahl swings, base hit into right, so the error does come back to bite Philadelphia. RBI single by Stahl, scoring Dan Bruthers, and it's 1-0 here in the bottom of the first inning. Ebbets Field. Here is Chief Wilson now. Right fielder hitting .262, 5 home runs, 60 runs batted in. Stahl has pilfered 15 on the season. Mathewson into his wind. And there goes Stahl, and this one, another throwing error by Chief Myers, and Stahl will make it to third. 2 errors in this game, and both committed by Chief Myers. Clee baseball fan, good evening everyone. He says he just premiered start 31 of his 1967 McCormick replay. 3 more starts left in that wonderful project. Maybe next time I'll try to premiere it before 9:25 p.m. That would be cool, Tim. That would definitely be cool because I'm always looking out for some baseball to watch. Okay, Castro says Clinton will finish his McGreevy for sure. He's banging out games. Oh, I have no doubt that Clinton will finish it, definitely. I have no doubt whatsoever, and hopefully his St. Louis Wolves are faring better in his version of the league. All right. So an error, and then followed by a single, scores the first Manchester run. So, and now another error, and Chick Stahl at third. Mathewson showing a little bit of frustration out there. Normally very even-tempered is the Christian gentleman, and as he was called. From the stretch to Wilson, and the pitch. Wilson, first pitch swinging, base hit into right, and the 2 errors get Philadelphia. RBI single by Wilson, scoring Chick Stahl, and it's 2-0 Manchester. All right, so Wilson aboard at first. Wilson with 15 steals, performing a little bit above in the stolen base category than expected. Here's Bobby Wallace, who made a great play in the top of the first. Wallace in there for his defense, hitting 198, 11 runs batted in. Mathewson needs to shut it down here. 2 runs in this game can mean everything. Ken, sorry you missed our Negro League game today. It was fun. Mathewson kicks and fires. 2-2 pitch to Bobby Wallace. And that fadeaway pitch, Wallace sends to left field, kind of deep, but Henry Larkin will get it right in front of the Arrow Collars advertising here at Ebbets. 2 runs, 4 hits, 2 costly errors. We've played 1 at Ebbets. It's Manchester 2 and Philadelphia nothing. Ken says that if he had purchased Diamond Wine before, he would have done McGreevy. Love this concept. And asking Tim how he feels his own Mike McCormick replay is going. And Tim says the games are exciting. The stats may not be what he would ultimately want, but he'll take exciting games all day long. Amen, brother. All right, Chief Myers, hoping to redeem himself, will start the second here. He'll be followed by Henry Larkin and Sox Siebold Myers hitting .219, 43 runs batted in, 3 home runs under his belt. Jake Weimer, southpaw deals. The 0-1 pitch to Myers, fastball. This one popped in foul territory on the left-hand side. Will there be enough room? I highly doubt it. Nope, it gets out of play. Myers back in the box now. Weimer with the delivery. Myers swings, chopper to short, and what a play by Joe Tinker. Joe Tinker makes the great play, coming in, showing some range there. Why, he is a Hall of Famer. 1 up, 1 down. So Bobby Wallace and Joe Tinker each flashing the leather for Manchester today. 1 away for Henry Larkin. The left fielder is .255, 2 home runs, 54 runs batted in. And something I wanted to say, it's just been getting to me throughout this whole league, is the proper pronunciation of my favorite baseball player. And the pronunciation, because I was listening to another channel do a game, it is Hannes Wagner, not Honus Wagner. It's Hannes after his German first name, Johannes, and it was shortened to Hannes. So just a little bit of trivia in our league, not trying to be snarky or anything, but now you know, it is pronounced Hannes Wagner. And I know just about everybody pronounces it Honus. I used to, until I learned a few years ago that is actually what the name is. It's Hannes Wagner, which we will not see him tonight. He plays for Arsenal, but we will see him as we get down the stretch, and if we get a clear winner, definitely we do want to revisit some of the teams that are down toward the bottom of the league when they have a spoiler role to play, and just revisit some of those players before we give dead ball a little bit of a rest here. And 19th century. All right, so Larkin in the box. Weimer delivers the 2-1 pitch. Fastball, routine fly ball to Chickstall out in center, who comes in and makes a nice play. Play-by-play showing this as a diving catch, but I think Stahl actually just doing a little bit of theatrics out there in center. 2 down. Sox-Siebold flirting with 300, hitting .299, 3 home runs, 18 runs batted in. Ray Schalk sets the target for Jake Weimer. The lefty winds and fires, payoff pitch. Siebold lays off and draws the walk. So that'll be the first free pass issued by Jake Weimer with 2 down. Siebold only 2 steals on the season. Charlie Hickman steps in, hitting .279. Bats from the right. 5 home runs, 47 runs batted in. Weimer fires it in. The 1-2 pitch. Fastball swung on, fly ball to Chick Stahl. Stahl coming in on it and makes the catch. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the second. Manchester 2 and the Quakers nothing. Christy Mathewson will face Ray Schalk, Joe Tinker, and Jake Weimer. Ray Schalk hitting .186 with 31 runs batted in. Big Six has neither struck out nor walked a batter. The Christian gentleman, known as a checkers and poker hustler, winds and deals the 1-2 pitch. Schalk chops this one down to first base. Hickman taking it on a nice bounce, and 3 unassisted to retire Schalk for out number 1. Joe Tinker, acquired from the Chicago Cubs, now in the right-hand side of the box. Tinker flashing the leather today for Manchester. At bat, he's hitting .235, 40 runs batted in, and a home runner. There, cranks and cranklets. Matty delivers to Tinker, the 1-0. Swinging away, this one going down the right field line. Siebold toward the foul line, making a nice running catch. 2 away. Mathewson working on cruise control right now, holding the Quakers, or Mathewson, I should say, in cruise control right now in this inning, but touched up for 2 runs back in the first. Seems like Matty is settling down. However, both runs by Mathewson are unearned as they were throwing errors by Chief Meyer. Matty delivers now to pitcher Jake Weimer, hitting 145. And this is a lazy fly ball to left field. Henry Larkin camps under it and makes the catch. We go to the third, and the score remains 2-0. Jake Weimer will face Christine Mathewson, George Van Haltren, and Bill Lang. Matty, pretty good hitting pitcher this year, hitting 248 with 18 runs batted in. Matty, one of our 20-game winners. And the southpaw deals now to big six, the 0-2. And Mathewson lines this one to center. Stahl had him played perfectly, one down. So good contact by Mathewson, but results in just a loud out. Back at the top of the order now for the Quakers and George Van Haltren. Shortstop grounded to short back in the first. Bats lefty, a lefty-lefty matchup. Weimer. Arms above the head and the windup. Van Haltren gets the bunt down on the first pitch. Schock pouncing on it. And over to Childs. But this one, bad throw. Childs not able to get to the bad throw, so Schock's error, number 20 on the season, and Van Haltren now in scoring position. So errors playing a big part in this game already. And could there be more? We shall see, as George Van Haltren with speed is in scoring position in second for Philadelphia. Bill Lang is 1 for 1. He has the sole hit for Philadelphia. Singled between third and short. Back in the first inning, Van Haltren, good leadoff third as Weimer delivers to Lang, the 2-2. And Lang lofts this one to left. This one has a little distance. Burkett back on it, will make the catch. Van Haltren tags at second, and Philadelphia flashes the stop sign. So 2 down for Eddie Collins. Collins nothing for 1, fly to shallow center back in the first. One of the great second baseman of the game, great career with the Philadelphia Athletics and the Chicago White Sox. Collins, one of the very few university-educated players at the time. Weimer delivers now to Collins, the 1-0. Fastball swung on and chopped to third. Bobby Wallace making a long throw across the diamond. This is going to be close, and it's an error by Bobby Wallace. So Collins reaches thanks to the error. Runners at the corners for Philadelphia, 2 down, and Eddie Collins, not to be trifled with on the base paths. 42 steals on the season. World's worst gamer coming in. He says hi to me and to everybody. Welcome in, our friend north of the border, world's worst gamer. So the 2 runs scored by Manchester in this game thus far as a result of errors. Should Van Haltren score, it will be due to an error. Weimer from the stretch, the 2-2 pitch to George Davis. Davis swings, base hit to right, and George Van Haltren will score. Collins around second as Wilson comes up with the ball. Here's the throw to third. The tag by Wallace not in time. Davis gets to second, and Philadelphia cuts this Manchester lead in half. It is now 2-1. Each team with 2 errors, and 3 of the 4 errors committed in this game have led to runs. 2 in scoring position for Philadelphia, as Chief Myers steps in now. Chief Myers, having committed those 2 errors for Philadelphia, he is nothing for 1, grounded to short back in the second. Weimer from the stretch delivers to Myers, the 3-2 pitch. Curveball. Myers swinging on the payoff pitch. Easy fly ball to Jesse Burkett in left field, and Burkett will bring it down for out number 3, but 1 run, 1 hit, 2 errors, 2 left. And we go to the bottom of the third. It's Manchester 2, Philadelphia 1 in this battle between the first and second place teams. Just 1 game separating Philadelphia and Manchester. Cleveland in third place at 2 games out, watching this game with great interest. As Ken says he is watching and getting a game ready to play himself. Ken mentioned Diamond Mine Baseball earlier. I wish it was something that the community would be more amenable to. I'd love to do a project, and I have a project in mind for Diamond Mine Baseball, but um, Diamond Mine just doesn't capture the fancy of too many people, unfortunately. It was going to be an all-star game project, an all-star game type abbreviated tournament season, whatever, since I have the all-star games for Diamond Mine between 1933 and 2008, which is what they offer. Then I was going to set up some different sort of all-star team brackets, which I think would have been fun, a good chance to visit some players through the eras, but alas, that will be something I will be doing offline. Or I'll recreate baseball for Windows, or here maybe, I don't know. But I love Diamond Mine, but some people are just not going to like it, and I totally understand it. Although I don't see the difference, I think it has better play-by-play than PC Replay Baseball, to be honest. And PC Replay Baseball is essentially just a prettier version of Diamond Mine. But to each his own. And also the other difference is one program is AI-driven and the other one, not so much, but it is there. All right. Burkett leads it off here. We're back at the top of the order for Manchester in the top, or in the bottom of the third, I should say. Mea culpa, pop to second. I've got to learn how to do a Red Barber imitation, so I can talk about being the old redhead in the catbird seat here in Dodger Town. Mathewson deals to Burkett, the 1-0. Burkett, comebacker to the mound, and Matty, known as a very, very good fielding pitcher, handily takes care of that ground ball. That was pretty sharply hit by Burkett, but one away. Cupid Childs 1 for 1 at the plate today. Infield single back in the first against Matty. Mathewson still no strikeouts yet in this game. Mathewson wheels and deals, 2-2 pitch to Childs, and there comes the strikeout. Swing and a miss. Matty pulling the chain, hang up a K for him, 2 away, and here is Dan Bruthers, who is 1 for 1. Singled in the first. Matty comes home with it, the 1-0 delivery, and Matty dropping the hammer, and Eddie Collins diving stop from his knees, throws on to Hickman to retire Bruthers. We're seeing some great defense today by these teams. No runs, no hits, no errors. 3 in the books. It is 2-1 Manchester over Philadelphia. Ken Castro says, I grew up in the 60s and 70s with zero graphics. Consequently, his imagination is up to par with Diamond Mine. Don't need the flashy stuff. The commentary is fine. Absolutely. Also, the wide range of homebrewers is able to make a sharp-looking screen. Yeah, you can make the game really, really nice and pretty. I don't need the flashy graphics either. I love them. I'm a gamer, but you know, not everything has to be MLB The Show. But it is what it is. Clinton Parks, welcome in. Seeking ye shall find. Good job, Christy Mathewson. All right, Henry Larkin will lead it off here for Philadelphia, followed by Sox Siebold, and then Charlie Hickman. Henry Larkin on the day is fly to shallow right center. Good to see a number of you in tonight. I do apologize for work schedule that I have, but it's a grueling job. So tomorrow night I work until 9 p.m. and then the following 3 mornings I have to be there at 7 a.m. So you might see some McGreevy, I don't know, in the afternoon. I can't promise anything. But I may make an exception next Saturday and not do music, and we may play some catch-up. We will have some baseball, hopefully Friday night for you. So we'll see, guys. I can't really promise anything till I see what the schedule is going to be, and if it does, in fact, settle down. All right. With that out of the way, let's get back to game action. So 1 walk issued in this game, and that's by Jake Weimer, who now delivers to Henry Larkin. Payoff pitch. Curveball, come back to the mound. Weimer up with it, and a smooth toss on to Dan Bruthers, covering at first for 1 out. And now right fielder Sox Siebold. Siebold walked back in the second, hitting .299. Jake Weimer winds and fires the 1-0 fastball sent to center field, and Chick Stahl making the play. 2 away. Stahl just rated, as far as his range, just a 7 out there. But Stahl, um, again, this is statistics driven, but I would say that Stahl is more like a 7.8. So that's a 7 that is not rounded up. We've seen him consistently make some fine plays in center field for Manchester. Charlie Hickman now in there. First baseman fly to shallow right. His last time up. 2 down, base is empty. Lefty Weimer comes home with it. 2-2 pitch. And Hickman chops this fastball down to third. Bobby Wallace taking it on the room service bounce. On to Bruthers at first to retire the side. So no runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Manchester 2 and Philadelphia 1. Clinton says, Beatles, I apologize. The current Dombrov is 2021. He says he uses ball roller dice to play, as I could drop a 4-sided dice that reads the 0 for the first number. Oh, no apologies. Are you kidding me? I think it's awesome that what you're doing. I think it's great. I think it's great. Different thing, Aaron. Hey, there's speaking of Rob. Looking at Aaron and answering Robbie. Robbie, welcome in. Or Aaron, welcome in. God, I'm like, my mind is blah. Aaron, welcome in, my friend. Saying hellos all around. Robbie Wartburg saying, do Diamond Mind on here. Look at the interest gathered in Baseball for Windows. Baseball for Windows is... I mean, it's got something, it brings to it is that immersion factor that, yeah, I mean, it's just with Diamond Mine, right, you have sound. I mean, I almost want to just have, maybe trying this, having just this sample that you hear running. This is just a looping sample, maybe having this going in the background of a Diamond Mine. I think a lot of people... See, not even so much the graphics as they're just talking about the silence, but when you're rolling dice, you hear. So I don't know, but I've tried a number of things with Diamond Mind, and unfortunately, it's just doesn't catch on. And it's such a good baseball game, it really is. All right. Anyhow, the number 4, 5, 6 hitters due up for Manchester: Stahl, Wilson, and Wallace. Check RBI single back in the first. And again, these runs by Manchester are unearned. Both the result of Chief Meyer's throwing errors, both E2s. Matty delivers the 1-2 pitch, fastball, and Stahl looks at a called 3rd strike 3. That's the 2nd strikeout by Mathewson in the game, as Chief Wilson steps in. Wilson 1 for 1 at the dish today. RBI single in the first, scoring check Stahl. That too an unearned run. Matty delivers to him now, the 0-1 pitch. And Mathewson put a little something on this one. Fly ball to deep left, and Lang making the play just to the left of Old Glory. 2 down for Bobby Wallace. Bobby Wallace, nothing for 1. He gave it a ride down the deep left field line. Of course, we're here in a very early Ebbets, so no Hilda Chester just yet, nor the Dodger Symphony Band. These would be later developments at Ebbets Field. When you watch The Ghosts of Flatbush, you're going to love some of the stories, or especially one of the stories that Duke Snyder tells about Hilda Chester. So do check that out. I put the links to that in our Discord, plus a link to a wonderful movie called The Soul of the Game, which was an HBO production. And as we gear up, we did our test game today with the Negro Leagues, and I think you guys would really enjoy Soul of the Game. Pretty good acting in it. It's good stuff. All right, and we'll look in the comments here in a second. And Mathewson's delivery to Wallace, base hit up the middle, splitting Collins and Van Halteren. So that will be the 5th base hit for Manchester in this game. Bobby Wallace aboard, and Wallace only 4 steals. on the season. So, but a decent runner when he gets going. Or Aaron Reed saying here, which is really nice. Yeah, Clinton talking about Eric Navala's old videos, did quite a few Diamond Mine. I enjoyed listening to him. Again, the other part of me is saying I'm not really trying to make this, build this channel. I'm, laying the groundwork for a different channel that's going to be no baseball at all on it. I don't know. I mean, I'll sort of think about it. If at least a couple people are in here willing to hang out, maybe we'll do an all-star game project with Diamond Mine Baseball. Anyhow, Aaron Reed, I like this. Very poetic. He says, I love the sounds of early spring training baseball. The ballparks are so quiet. You can hear the trees blowing in the wind, and it's always a sunny, warm day. Very poetic, very true, Aaron. Thank you for that. I love that. That is so nice. Ken Castro says, I use a loop like that in the background of Diamond Mine when it's a big game. Sometimes I also use 80s metal or light jazz. Either way, the Diamond Mine experience is pleasing coming from a devoted cards and dice guy. And that is indeed high praise when you consider that cousin Ken Castro played a lot out of the park for about 3 weeks and has shelved it, yet is still in there with Diamond Mine. And no, not knocking out of the park, folks. Great, great baseball sim. All right, Bobby Wallace aboard with 2 down. As Ray Schalk steps in, he grounded out back in the second. Matty with a check of the runner. Now the delivery home. First pitch swinging, and Schalk up the throw down by Myers, and Bobby Wallace caught stealing. Inning over. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. We go to the 5th. And it's 2-1 Manchester. And there's Todd B. Should be interested in this game as he's just 2 games out of first. This is a battle between the second and first place teams. And Aaron is coming to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania on a family vacation in March. Which part of PA? Aaron, is a pretty big Commonwealth. It's kind of longer more than it's tall, but fairly large place. So what part? Western, central, eastern PA? So near Pittsburgh, near State College, near Philly, or up in the Scranton-Wilkes-Barre area, up in the Poconos area? Let us know. My folks live up in the northern part of the Commonwealth, up in Poconos country. Oh, Hershey, Hershey and Gettysburg. Those are right around where I'm staying right now. Cool. Todd B says he's fine. Just a day off, so we played some baseball and just finished a basketball game. Excellent, Todd. Good to hear it, man, and good to see you in here. All right, Maddie, 0-1 in the game. Line to center. It'll be Mathewson, Van Haltren, and Lang due up for the Quakers. 2-1 your score here. And all runs in this game are unearned. Weimer delivers to Mathewson. 0-2 pitch to Matty. Fastball lined right to Joe Tinker. 1 away. Tinker didn't even have to move for that ball. George Van Haltren, 0-2 in the contest. He was safe on an error back in the 3rd. Lefty Weimer delivers to lefty Van Haltren, the 1-2. And this one down the middle for strike 3. Jake Weimer posted K number 1. 2 down now for Bill Lang, who's 1 for 2. The center fielder singled back in the 1st, fly to deep left in the 3rd. Schalk sets the target. Weimer with the delivery, payoff pitch, and Lang laying off that curveball. This one missing high and outside, not dropping like it should. Philadelphia with a runner aboard. And Lang, definitely a fast runner, 17 steals in the season. Eddie Collins steps in, 0-2. Was safe on the throwing error in the 3rd. Weimer checks Lang at first, throws over. Lang back ahead of the Brewers tag. This one was close. Lang a pretty good lead there with 2 out. Weimer comes home with it now. And there goes Lang. Schalk's throw down. This one to the outfield. And so that's an error on Ray Schalk, and Bill Lang perched at third, E2. So the catchers today, just maybe a little bit because of the stakes of this game, perhaps, coming up too quickly, trying to gun it down at second. So Lang, the tying run, just 90 feet away, and here's Eddie Collins back in the box. The count 1-0 on Cocky Collins. Collins sends this one to center field. Stahl has it in his sights and in his glove. So Philadelphia, despite the break, does not capitalize, and we go to the bottom of the fifth inning. It's Manchester 2 and Philadelphia 1. All right, so Gettysburg's very beautiful, and you'll have fun at Hershey. Chocolate Town, USA. Tinker ain't no stinker, says Aaron. Robbie Wartburg, I think a Diamond Line project on here would be fun. I mean, I unapologetically put recordings of baseball windows on your channel. I mean, it's not popular, but I don't care. If people watch, they watch. If they don't, they don't. Wise words from our good friend in the Lone Star State. I will certainly give it some thought, Robbie. Thanks, buddy. And guys, do keep up. Please, please subscribe to Clee Baseball Fan 879's channel. Also to Robbie Wartburg. Robbie Wartburg right now featuring on his channel Baseball for Windows. For those of you that are working during the day and have access to internet, which in my job, I at least get to listen to some good rock and roll every day. But Robbie doing, pardon the cough in your ear, Robbie doing the 1914 Federal League Baseball for Windows. Saw that he put 2 more games up yesterday. So do subscribe to that channel and enjoy some Ernie Harwell and 1914 Federal League. You'll recognize, if you're following this league, a lot of names. A lot of guys jump to the Federal League from the National and American Leagues. All right, back to game action. Ray Schalk, Joe Tinker, and Jake Weimer. Christy Mathewson in a day with 2 strikeouts. Yep, new job, Clinton. New job. It's a tough schedule, tough job, but it's fun. It's fun, but the schedule is not nice, to say the least. That's why I haven't been on. As I said, tomorrow night I work from 9 o'clock in the evening and then have to be there 7 o'clock the next morning. So don't know if we'll get a game in tomorrow night or not. It's highly doubtful. But if you receive notifications, we'll see. Hard to make promises until things settle in, guys. Matty delivers to Ray Schalk. The 1-2 pitch. Fade away, chopped up the first base line. And Charlie Hickman will take it to the bag himself for 1 down. That fadeaway pitch that Christy Mathewson threw, purportedly taught to him by the great Rube Foster. You would have seen Foster today if you were at Steve Tate's channel, as we did our first test run of 2 Negro League teams, and it was a fun game. I drafted for speed, he drafted for power, and the outcome was interesting. So infield in at the corners for Joe Tinker. Davis in at third. Hickman in at first. As we flash a little picture every once in a while, I'm going to start doing that now of these players, so you can kind of get another look to see what they look like as we wind it down. There is Christy Mathewson, graduate of Bucknell, now Bucknell University. And there's Joe Tinker. Mathewson delivers. They were looking bunt last time on Tinker, and he swung away, and he does the same this time. Fly ball to center, and Bill Lang rings it down for the 2nd out. And here's Jake Weimer. Weimer nothing for 1, I should say, fly to left back in the 2nd. The Big 6 from Factoryville, PA delivers the 0-2 pitch. Weimer, solid stroke up the middle, base hit, going for 2, and the throw by Lang not in time. Collins just late with the tag, and Weimer with a clean 2-out double. back at the top of the order now. So Weimer helping his own cause. That's base hit number 6 for Manchester. Manchester with 2 extra base hits in the game, I do believe. Burkett nothing for 2. He's popped to second and grounded to pitcher. Matty checks Weimer. No real threat out there to steal, and not with 2 outs. Mathewson comes home with it to Burkett. The 1-2 delivery, and the fadeaway popped. This one getting into shallow center and right into the glove of Bill Lang. Side retired, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a runner left. We go to the 6th. It's 2-1 Manchester. Clinton talking about he does medical billing and coding until an ex dies. Then he can retire, so he can stop the alimony with the feds, right? Yeah, it's... Oof. All right, here is George Davis, one of our 19th century stars. He'll lead it off for Philadelphia. Picture of George there for you. George in the game has an RBI single back in the 3rd, scoring George Van Haltren. Lefty Weimer has the sign, the 1-0 delivery. Infield looking bunt. Davis swinging away, fly ball to deep center. Stahl's not going to get to this one. It's off the wall. Davis will pull into second with a leadoff double. That's his 12th of the season. And the Quakers with a tying run in scoring position, nobody out. Should Davis score without any errors, it will be the first run in this game that will be earned. Chief Myers, nothing for 2. Myers just having an awful day behind the plate and over 0 for 2 at the plate. Davis with 30 steals in the season. Weimer peers over his left shoulder at Davis, looks in, has the sign from Schock, sets Davis into a good lead at second. Here's the delivery to Myers. The 1-2. Myers swings. This one going out to Stahl, who's been so busy out there today. Lights a fire, camps under it, makes the catch. Davis tags. Bluff's going to 3rd, but he will hold. So there is a picture of Chick Stahl. Henry Larkin is nothing for 2. He is flied out and grounded out. 1 away. Philadelphia with the tying run in scoring position. Weimer comes home with it. The 0-2 curveball swung on, lofted to left. Burkett will bring down this can of corn. Davis tagging, and he will not advance. 2 away here in the visitors' half of the 6th at Ebbets, and that brings up Sox Seabold. Seabold nothing for 1, including a walk. Philadelphia trying to get this tying run home. Weimer comes home with it. Payoff pitch to Seabold. Fastball missing outside and low. And Weimer issuing the base on ball. So 2 aboard now for first baseman Charlie Hickman, who's nothing for 2. And he is flied out and grounded out. Davis at second, Seabold at first, 2 away. Weimer with the wind, and the 2-1. And Weimer missing this one in tight on Hickman, and the bases are loaded. Ken Castro with a trivia question. He says, what park was the first to install a protective backstop to protect fans from foul balls? Ooh, so Clinton with the day off tomorrow, thanking the white stuff from the sky. Wouldn't mind a snow day here and there, but Commonwealth of Pennsylvania just not getting it. Yep, the bases are choked, as Ernie would say. Aaron channeling his inner Ernie Harwell. Mathewson nothing for 2. 2 down. Weimer from the stretch. The 1-2 to Mathewson. This could be a big hit here if it happens, and it does not. Called strike 3. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and Philadelphia leaves them loaded, and we go to the bottom of the 6th. It's Manchester 2, Philadelphia 1. Aaron saying that this game sounding like something you'd watch one of those early baseball highlight films. All we need now is that classical with fast symphonic music. Yeah, maybe try to do an imitation of that tonight. I think it'd be really fun. Infield in at the corners as Cupid Child steps in. Child's 1 for 2. Back in the first, singled on the infield and was caught stealing. Meyer sets the target for Mathewson. And the 1-2 pitch. Fastball by Matty, chopped up the middle. Collins ranging to his right. Bare hands it, and in one motion throws on to Hickman to retire Childs for the first out of the 6th inning. Here's Big Dan Bruthers. There he is for you. Bruthers in the game is 1 for 2. He singled back in the first and grounded to second in the third. Bruthers digging a little trench there on the left-hand side as Matty works to a payoff pitch to Bruthers, and Bruthers on the 3-2 sends this one high and deep to left. Larkin back and at the advertising against the wall. Can't quite see what that one is. So just below the big green "You Need a Biscuit" sign, 2 out. And here's Chick Stahl. We've seen Stahl make some fine plays today. He has singled and struck out. RBI single back in the first. Matty delivers to him the 1-0 pitch. Curveball. And Stahl with a slow chopper to short. Van Haltren having to come in quickly on that play. Plants and in plenty of time to retire Chick Stahl. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. We head to the 7th inning. And it's Manchester 2, Philadelphia 1. So Clinton says he has to shovel the patio and porch. Good exercise. Sometimes we see it. Yeah, exactly. You take your time, man. You should just get a snowblower, but especially that wet snow, man. Because that's usually a little bit, right? You get the wet snow, more humidity, stuff like that. You start getting warm. Just be careful, Clinton, please. All right. Van Haltren, a disappointing nothing for 3, will lead it off here for Philadelphia, and he is indeed the leadoff hitter. Give you a look at George here. There we go. Weimer comes home with it to Van Haltren. Payoff pitch. Van Haltren called strike 3. So Jake Weimer hangs up strikeout number 3 in the game, and he's also walked 4. And here's Bill Lang. Lang has 1 for 2, including 2 steals today. Singled in the first, flied out in the third, and walked in the 5th. Weimer works now to Lang. Lang, base hit into left field. Burkett up with it. Lang going for 2. He slides and Child's tag. Lang in there just ahead of it on the head first slide. And that's the 4th double by Bill Lang. 1 down, and Philadelphia once again with a runner in scoring position. Weimer turning them away last time with Mathewson looking at a called 3rd strike 3 and bases loaded. Brings up Eddie Collins, who is nothing for 3. He was on the base path, safe on a throwing error back in the 3rd. Lefty versus lefty here. Weimer versus Eddie Collins. There's a picture of Eddie. He deals the 0-1 pitch, and Collins sends this one airmail to right, and coming in on it is Chief Wilson. Lang tagging at second, and he will hold. So 2 down, Philadelphia getting a little bit frustrated, getting runners in scoring position, but not able to get them home. And that brings up George Davis, who's having a good day at the plate. Davis with an RBI single in the third and a double in the sixth. So seeing Jake Weimer pretty well. Weimer comes home with it now. Payoff pitch to George Davis. Fastball missing. So Ray Shaw turns around to the umpire, questioning the call. The umpire walking away, not wanting to eject anybody here. Weimer issuing free pass number 5. Shaw's not going to get that call. 2 aboard for Philadelphia, 2 down. Chief Myers is nothing for 3. He is grounded out and flied out twice. Weimer kicks, fires, and here it comes. Change up. First pitch swinging, grounder to Tinker at short. Tinker will go across the diamond to Dan Bruthers to retire Myers for out number 3. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left. Go to the bottom of the 7th. Manchester 2, Philadelphia 1. Good ball game. All right, Chief Wilson to lead it off here for Manchester in the bottom of the 7th inning. He will be followed by Bobby Wallace and Ray Shaw. Wilson, RBI single in the first and fly to deep center in the 4th. And there's a quick look at Chief Wilson. Faces from the past. Mathewson into his motion and the 0-2 fastball. Base hit into right field. Bill Lang will come over and come up with that ball. So Wilson aboard. Chief Wilson has 15 steals on the season, and here is Bobby Wallace now. Wallace 1 for 2 in the game. Singled back in the 4th. Mathewson ready to work as he gets the sign that he likes from Myers. The 0-1 delivery. There goes Chief Wilson. So the hit and run was in effect as this fly ball goes out to Bill Lang in center. Lang makes the catch. Wilson will retreat to first. So Bobby Wallace not getting it done on the hit and run play. 1 down, and here is Ray Cracker Shaw. There's Shaw. Very serious player by all accounts. Shaw today is nothing for 2, and he is grounded to first twice. Wilson into his lead. Mathewson with a check of the runner throws over. And Wilson back in ahead of Hickman's swipe tag. Mathewson works now to... And there goes Wilson. Myers throws down Collins with the tag. Not in time. Stolen base number 16 for Chief Wilson. Runner in scoring position now for Manchester. 1 down. Shaw back in the box. The 2-1 delivery by Mathewson. Fastball chopped to second. Collins up with it. Goes on to Hickman for the 4-3 putout. Chief Wilson will go to third on the play. Potential 3rd run for Manchester just 90 feet away at third base, baseball fans, and that brings up Joe Tinker, who is nothing for 2. He's flied out twice, both times to right. Mathewson from the stretch, and the 1-2 fadeaway pitch. This one lofted to left. Larkin barely having to move on this one and brings it down into his glove. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, a man left. 7 in the books here at Ebbets Field. It's still Manchester 2, Philadelphia 1. Todd asking anyone see my post in Discord about my game being delayed by a fan on the field. Crazy. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Robbie says he's not confident recording anything tonight since his internet went out once. All right. Well, that gives people a chance to catch up on what you have up there, Robbie Wartburg. All right. So Henry Larkin is nothing for 3. As we start festivities here in the top of the 8th, he's flied out twice and grounded out. Give you a look at Henry. There he is. All right. Lefty Weimer kicks and fires. 0-1 delivery. Fastball swung on, chopped to second. Wallace up with it, has to hurry this throw across the diamond. It's going to be close, and Henry Larkin beats it out. Infield hit. Philadelphia picking up its 5th base knock of the game, and Larkin with 13 steals on the season. Here's Sox Seabold, nothing for 1. And he has walked twice and flied out. Lefty Weimer comes home with it now. 0-1 pitch. And Seabold gets the bunt down. Coming in on it is Bruthers. Bruthers going to Tinker to cut down the lead runner, so they get Larkin. So 1 down on the fielder's choice, and good heads-up play. Dan Bruthers making a nice play to cut down the lead runner. 1 down. Seabold at first. 2 steals in the season for him. And there's Sox. And that brings up Charlie Hickman. Charlie Hickman, that baseball cap looking more like something you'd see in Ireland or England. Like a pork pie hat, as it would be called. Hickman is nothing for 2. Walked back in the 6th. Seabold 3 steps off first. Weimer checks the runner, comes home with it. 2-0 delivery. There goes Seabold, and the hit and run. This one a comeback to the mound. Weimer cannot hold on to it, and Charlie Hickman, when the dust settles, is safe. Here we go again for Philadelphia. Big story is they can't get him in. They're getting him on. So Philadelphia in this game has stranded 10 runners. It's the 5th error by Jake Weimer. Christy Mathewson, nothing for 3. Struck out back in the 6th in a baseless loaded situation. Seabold at 2nd, Hickman at 1st. 2-1 Manchester lead, 1 out here. Chance for Matty to tie it up right here. Weimer delivers now to his mound opponent, the 0-1, and once again Joe Tinker with a great play and on to Bruthers, and they catch Hickman. Hickman doubled up. Inning over, and Philadelphia is now stranded 11. We're going to look at that replay again. So this is the 2nd time in this game that Mathewson lines to Tinker, and this time pretty amazing. So let's watch this go again. So Mathewson swings. Tinker up with that ball. Hickman was already going to 2nd. Realizes, try to get back, slips falling down, and Bruthers and Tinker double him up. Bottom of the 8th, it's still 2-1. Philadelphia, a lot of missed opportunities scoring in this game. 2 runs in the 1st by Manchester, both unearned. 1 in the 3rd by Quakers. It was unearned, and that is it. It's been goose eggs all the way since then, baseball fans. Jake Weimer now to lead it off here. 1 for 2 for the Manchester pitcher. Double to left center. Once again, a little picture of Jake there for you. Christy Mathewson with 2 strikeouts has yet to issue a free pass. Matty wills and deals the 1-1 fastball. Chopper to Van Haltren coming in on this ball. Plants and throws him plenty of time to retire Weimer for the 1st out. Back at the top of the order now for Manchester, Jesse Burkett. Left fielder is nothing for 3. Infield looking bunt from the St. Louis Hall of Famer. Matty delivers to Burkett the 1-2. Burkett, little chopper. Oh, George Davis coming in so quickly on that ball, makes the diving pick and retires Burkett for the 2nd out. What a play at the hot corner by George Davis. I was just about to remark that Jesse Burkett, one of the players here that really straddles the 19th century dead ball, the 2 eras. So Burkett, an excellent representative. But what a play by George Davis. So 2 down, bases empty, and here's Cupid Childs. Childs has singled, struck out, and grounded out. Matty works with 2 away, and the 0-2 fastball And this one painting the outside corner, and that does it. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the ninth. It's Manchester 2, Philadelphia 1. Great matchup here. World's Worst Gamer says, I love Joe Tinker. He's still doing very well in his Federal League team, too. Todd B says, Pork Pirate reminds me of a great song by Mary Chapin Carpenter. John Doe, number 24, true story. Good stuff. All right, in the ninth for Philadelphia, 3 chances to get something going here. The number 1, 2, 3 hitters in the lineup, George Van Haltren, Bill Lang, and Eddie Collins. Manchester playing far more efficiently. They've only stranded 3 runners to Philadelphia's 11. Beautiful day for baseball here in Flatbush. Weimer deals now to Van Haltren. 0-2, Van Haltren. Fly ball to right. This one has a little bit of distance, but Wilson ranges over on it and makes the catch in front of the advertising-free right field wall. And actually, he caught that about where the Abe Stark sign will be. Bill Lang having a good day at the dish today for a possible losing effort for Philadelphia. He's 2 for 3, including 2 steals. Give you a look at Bill Lang. There he is. Jake Weimer winds and fires. The 1-1 pitch, change up. This one chopped to second. Childs making a great diving stop, hard to his left to retire Lang. So Cupid Childs also flashing the leather. So this Manchester infield playing tough today. Wallace, Tinker, and Childs, and even Bruthers cutting down the lead runner, cutting down back in the Van Haltren, I believe it was. It's down to Eddie Collins to get something going. Philadelphia down just 1 run. Collins, nothing for 4. Weimer peers in, has the sign from Collins. 3-1 pitch. Collins, comebacker. Weimer off the mound. This is going to be close. Eddie Collins this time loses the race, and Manchester wins this one 2-1. Game recap now. So Manchester at 71 and 59 will pull ahead no matter what happens tonight. So they came into this game with, or just 1 game ahead of Philadelphia. So big matchup tonight. Philadelphia dropping to 69 and 61 for Manchester. 2 runs, 7 hits, 4 errors. And for the Philadelphia Quakers, 1 run on 5 hits and 2 errors. Mathewson tagged with the loss. He goes to 20 and 12. Jake Weimer gets the win and goes to 14 and 12. So let's look at our pitching here. So Mathewson went 8, 2 runs, and only 1 of those runs was earned. And so it would have been a different ball game without these errors. Struck out 3. Jake Weimer went 9, gave up 1 run. It was not earned. Walked 5 and struck out 3. So Weimer now, his ERA dips below 2 again. So among the league leaders at 1.93. Let's look at extra base hits. We had 2 doubles in the game, Bill Lang and George Davis for Philadelphia, and for Manchester, a double by Jake Weimer. No triples. Let's look at our miscellaneous. Stolen bases today, Bill Lang, 2 for Philadelphia, and for Manchester, Dan Bruthers, Chick Stahl, Chief Wilson, and Chief Wilson. Childs and Wallace each caught stealing. RBIs, George Davis picking up his 40th today for Manchester. Chick Stahl picks up number 36 as Chief Wilson picks up number 61. Great plays by Eddie Collins, George Davis, Bobby Wallace, Cupid Childs, Chick Stahl, and Joe Tinker with 2 great plays at short. big story for Philadelphia again. Wasted opportunities, baseball fans. 11 men stranded to Manchester's 3. Manchester turned a double play. Game-winning RBI. Really happened way back in the first. Chick Stahl and the MVP. Jake Weimer, Bill Langos 2 for 4 with a double and 2 steals. George Davis 2 for 3 and with a double in today's contest. So we'll go ahead and let update, and then we'll autoplay the rest of the day. And that will be all for tonight. This broadcast at 1 hour, 17 minutes as we go into the final part of this. Big loss by Philadelphia. There's D. Scott Howard, the bare-handed Wolf Chokers of Bellingham manager. And let's go to our autoplay. And first up, Bellingham versus Arsenal. Bellingham at 64 and 65. Arsenal at 62 and 67. And here we go. And Bellingham defeats Arsenal 5-3. So Bellingham now back up to 500. Arsenal falling to 62 and 68. Eddie Plank gets the win, his 21st. He goes to 21 and 8. Stan Kovaleski with the loss for Arsenal, he is 6 and 4. Dave Fultz for Arsenal in a losing cause goes 3 for 4 with 2 runs batted in and a double. Next up, Liverpool and Providence, which we may play out. We'll see. We'll come back to that. Carolina and Cleveland. Carolina trying to play some spoiler ball here. They're 63 and 66. Cleveland very much in this race right now, 68 and 61. And here we go. Cleveland handily defeats Carolina 4-1. Jim Bagby gets the win. He goes to 5 and 3. Vic Willis with the loss for Carolina goes to 10 and 17. Larry Doyle, perfect 4 for 4 today at the plate. St. Louis and Butler. St. Louis at 52 and 77. Butler a game above 500, 65 and 64. And Butler defeats St. Louis 6-2. Smokey Joe Wood gets the win. He goes to 13 and 5. Kid Nichols tagged with a loss. He goes to 10 and 16. Smokey Joe Wood went 2 for 3, including a home run, his second, and 2 runs batted in. And finally, Liverpool and Providence. And don't know whether Ken feels like managing his game or not. If you will, if you want to, Ken, we will. And if not, we'll just go ahead and autoplay it. We'll have the same marquee matchup when next we meet, folks. Manchester and Philadelphia again will be meeting. They've just started a 3-game series. Manchester taking the first one. As Todd B says, the more he scratches and spits, the better he's become. Okay, so Cousins says he is here. He will be managing against Liverpool. Liverpool is my team. And Ken Castro, Providence. So let's do human, and we'll play, and we'll let Ken set his lineup how he would like. So we get a chance to see Liverpool. We don't get to see those guys too much. All right, so Providence will be facing, or Providence will be facing Mickey Welch today. We'll see what Providence would like to do. World Source Gamer says, just shout out $30 Canadian for the 1979 season for PC Replay. Sales price. Ouch. Should be fun when you get to it. All right. Yeah, I hope too. I hope it is. 1979, especially a fond memory for Pittsburgh Pirate fans, certainly. The We Are family. I feel you guys a doubleheader. Why not? All right. So you're going to put Haas Radborn in, but on a short lease. That's going to be your starter. Excellent. And how about your lineup there, Cousin Ken? Let me see what you have versus where you're actually at your righties. And you got Hamilton, Keeler, Kelly, McGraw, Chase, McPhee, Ewing, and Elberfeld. Let's see what you have. And World's Worst Gamer will be definitely playing as the Pittsburgh Pirates in 1979. Facing elimination in the 1979 World Series, the Buccos came back to beat the Orioles. Very nice. Okay, Cousin Ken happy with his lineup. So here we go, baseball fans. We are on our way for the second part of our unexpected twin bill, but I'm glad Cousin Ken feels like managing, as I really wasn't ready since I don't have to be at work till 12:30 tomorrow. It's not like I have to do an early to bed, early to rise. All right, here we go. All right, welcome to Huntington Avenue grounds for today's game between Liverpool and Providence. Mickey Welch will take the mound for Liverpool. So we have a matchup today of two 19th century stars, Mickey Welch and Old Hoss Radbourne. Good stuff. Welch has made 30 starts in the year, and he is 18-11 with an ERA of 2.12. This will be his fourth start against Providence, and he's 2-0 against Liberty Tree with a 0.87 earned run average. Old Hoss Radbourne will be on the mound for Providence. 46 starts in the year, and he has 25 wins, 20 losses, with an earned run average of 2.58. This will be his fourth go against Liverpool, 1-1 against the Fabs, with a 2.32 earned run average against them. At game time, it is 76 degrees, sunny and calm.
Play ball.
And here we go. So, nope, there's not going to, oh yeah, as Ken Castro says, get ready for some uber managing. Here we go. All right. So it's just weird to see my team because I really can't manage them. So good to see ya. And Tris Speaker, who is second in the league, way behind Lashaway, though, in batting. Speaker hitting .313, 4 home runs, and 36 runs batted in. So the Gray Eagle steps in against Old Hoss Radbourne, and I got to get a picture for Old Hoss. I keep forgetting. Radbourne winds and fires. Waiting here for just a little bit of last-minute amenities. Here it comes. Speaker swings, gets the bunt down. Ewing throws down to McPhee. McPhee having trouble holding on to it. Finally able to recover and takes care of that for out number one. Speaker tears down the line quickly. Here's left fielder Kip Selbach hitting .244, 5 home runs, 35 runs batted in. And remember, Ken, nice emoji. Just some big emoji that I can see. But we're all good. As World's Worst Gamer says, he is in sunny Ontario, Canada. He's right across the river from Port Huron, Michigan. Blue water bridges connect us. Very nice. Our awesome neighbors to the north. Love Canada. All right. Selbach steps in against Radbourne. Radbourne has the sign from battery make Buck Ewing. Here's the 1-0 delivery. Change up. Selbach pops this one high in the infield. Bid McPhee and Elberfeld both going for it, but McPhee waving off Elberfeld. And he will take this rain bringer down for out number 2. 76 degrees here at Huntington Avenue grounds in this big ballpark. And D. Scott Howard trying to throw me off there with the big glove there, trying to manage for Cousin Ken. That's kind of funny. I love it. Thank you for that, D. Scott Howard. Appreciate it. All right. Bad Bill Dahlin now in for Liverpool. And with this one, you'll be able to see everybody larger pictures with this one. Dahlin hitting .237, 2 home runs, 41 runs batted in. Radbourne sets and fires the 1-2 pitch. Change up. Dahlin pops this one behind the dish. Ewing flings aside the mask. Plenty of real estate here at Huntington Avenue grounds. And Ewing makes the putout. Side retired. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the first. And it's Liverpool nothing, and Liberty Tree coming to bat. So Clinton Park's talking about the snow, 6 to 10 inches, ending tomorrow around 5 o'clock up in the great state of Maine, as D. Scott Howard explains the emoji that he's trying to help Ken Castro out managing. How about that? And Clinton Park says that Cousin is beyond help, D. Scott Howard. All right, sliding Billy Hamilton to lead it off here for Providence. Hamilton hitting .290 with 6 runs batted in. Mickey Welch has the sign from Chief Zimmer. I haven't seen my team in so long. Welch delivers to Hamilton. 2-0 pitch. Hamilton swings, chopper to second. Abaticio up with it. On to chance to retire Hamilton for out number 1. Here is Wee Willie Keeler. So Keeler tied with Hannes Wagner of Arsenal, league lead in steals with 46. Keeler, .299 average with 50 runs batted in and a home run. Welsh fires it in, the 2-1 delivery to Wee Willie. Fastball lined right to Abaticio. 2 up, 2 down. Keeler ripped into that ball, but Abaticio hadn't played perfectly. Again, first Italian-American player of note in the majors, and there's Ed. His family probably from northern Italy, not sure, but I'm guessing, as the great wave of southern Italian and Sicilian immigrants would not come until a bit later. So, well, there were some southern Italians and Sicilians in the United States, but most of the earlier Italian immigrants coming from northern Italy, so Milano, Venezia, Firenze. Joe Kelly now. Kelly hitting .258, a home run, 40 runs batted in. You know, you think about the just how many nationalities represented in baseball, and each immigrant group coming in and kind of being dominant. You know, the Irish dominating the 1890s, of course. It's all the more poignant, and after playing our Negro League game today, to see no African Americans on this lineup. But we do have an Irishman facing an Irishman and a German behind the plate. Welch kicks and fires the 3-1 pitch. And this curveball missing by Mickey Welch and Joe Kelly aboard now. First base runner in the game. Joe Kelly has 44 steals, so just behind Wagner and Keeler in thefts. And that brings in Little Napoleon John McGraw. John McGraw hitting .239, 45 runs batted in. And I see a cousin. Welch checks the speedy Kelly at first. Now here's the delivery. Joe Kelly off to the races. Zimmer up with it to throw to Dahlin. Dahlin's tag not in time. Joe Kelly now with steal number 45. Just one behind teammate Wee Willie Keeler. So runner in scoring position for Providence. 2 away. Welch now ready to work. The 0-1 to McGraw. And Welch missing with this curveball low and outside. 2 aboard, 2 down, and that brings up Hal Chase. .273, 5 home runs, 46 runs batted in for Prince Hal. Kelly at second, McGraw at first. Welch delivers. 2-1 pitch to Hal Chase. Chase, easy fly ball to right field, and Michael King Kelly will take it in, and that does it. We go to the top of the second, and we are scoreless. And there he is, the great Mike King Kelly. Great player and great trickster of 19th century baseball. Even had a song named after him. Kelly will be followed by Frank Chance and Chief Zimmer. As chat continues. continuing unabated, which I love to see. A bunch of guys getting together and just having some fun. Way back in the day when Kelly played, you had one umpire, and Kelly would do things like he would get to third from first, but he would just skip second entirely. So when the umpire was standing behind the pitcher, Kelly would just take off, cut across to third. So many exploits of the great Michael King Kelly, and I think I like him because of some of my background and the things that I do. Love King Kelly. Slide, Kelly, slide. Your running is a disgrace. I need to find some recording of that song sometime and put it up here when next I get to see my team. Radbourn delivers now to Kelly. Count even on Kelly. Curveball, and Kelly fooled on the breaking ball. Strike three called. Radbourn picking up his first K, and here is the peerless leader, Frank Chance. Chance acquired from the Cubs, of course, the third part of that great poem by Franklin P. Adams. Tinker to Evers to Chance, huh? These are the saddest of possible words. Tinker to Evers to Chance. A trio of bear cubs in fleeter than birds. Tinker to Evers to Chance. And we'll finish the rest of the poem as we go along. And today we had a great one called To Satch, which I'll be reading again when we do another Negro League game. It's probably the greatest 8-line poem I've ever read. Radbourn now delivers to the peerless leader, Frank Chance. The 1-0 delivery. Chance swings. Clean base hit past Elberfeld into left. Joe Kelly up with it. Chance going for two. The slide. McPhee just a bit late on the tag, and Frank Chance with a 1-out double. That's his 8th of the season, and that brings up Chief Zimmer. So Liverpool picks up the first base hit of the game here in the second. Chief Zimmer hitting just 183 with 39 runs batted in and a home run. Radbourn with a check of Chance. Chance with 38 steals on the season. Radbourn delivers to Zimmer. And this one gets away from Ewing. Pass ball. Frank Chance moves to third. So go ahead run in the second inning, just 90 feet away for Liverpool, courtesy of pass ball advancing Frank Chance to third. Zimmer back in the box now, the 1-0 from Old Haas. Zimmer swings, base hit into left field, RBI, scoring Chance, and Liverpool taking an early lead here in the second. It is 1-0. Ruthlessly pricking our Gonfalon bubble, making a giant hit into a double. Words that are weighty with nothing but trouble. Tinker to Evers to Chance. There we go, finished it. All right. We need to do Casey at the bat some night, and the lesser-known Casey's Revenge. Zimmerman now 246 average, 3 home runs, 51 runs batted in. There's an apocryphal story around that Ernest P. Thayer may have partially based Casey on Michael King Kelly. Not really sure, but there are a few theories floating around that was at least partially based on Kelly. Radbourn checks Zimmer at first. Zimmer with 11 steals in the season. And the 2-2 pitch now to Zimmerman. Curveball. And big swing and a miss. Strike 3, 2 down for Ed Abaticio. Abaticio hitting 221, 35 runs batted in. Look at Abaticio's profile. Almost looks like a centurion there. Very proud look on the visage of Ed Abaticio. Radbourn delivers, throws over. Zimmer just back ahead of Howe Chase, applying the leather. Radbourn comes home with it now, the 2-1. Abaticio, chopper to third. McGraw up with it quickly and plants and throws across the diamond to Howe Chase. to retire Abaticio. However, 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, a man left. We go to the bottom of the second. It's Liverpool 1 and Providence nothing. Providence will send up Bid McPhee, Buck Ewing, and Kid Elberfeld. McPhee hitting .235 with a home run, 6 runs batted in. Irishman versus Irishman again. McPhee, 4 steals in the season. Very, very fast runner, though. Welch delivers 3-1. And ball 4. Liverpool does not want to let any of these Providence runners aboard. Lots of speed up and down the lineup for Providence Liberty Tree. And that brings up Buck Ewing. Buck Ewing has just been dangerous in this league. 254 hitter. Don't let that fool you, though. 9 home runs, 65 runs batted in. And Buck Ewing, a lot of clutch. Gotcha, Cousin Ken. Welsh with a check of McPhee at first. He winds and fires the 1-0. There goes McPhee, and hit and run was on. Ewing chops it down to first. Chance will take this one unassisted to retire Ewing, and McPhee moves to second on the play. So 1 down, tying a run and scoring position for Providence. And that brings in Kid Elberfeld, who, when he's not playing baseball, is crashing plates on the floor, looking for waiters. Elberfeld hitting .218, 47 runs batted in, including a home run. Mickey Welch with a check of McPhee at second. Here's the delivery to Elberfeld, the 1-1. Elberfeld swings in this curveball. The Gray Eagle coming in center very quickly, makes the play. McPhee will not try to run on Speaker with a powerful arm and enough range to basically cover this entire outfield. 2 away for old Haas Radborn, hitting .242 in the season. 2 home runs, 19 runs batted in. Beautiful day for baseball. 78 degrees here at Huntington Avenue grounds. And no breeze. Welch fires it in. Oh, throws back. Oh, a quick spin. Trying to catch McPhee napping, but McPhee back ahead of Abaticio's tag. Welch, very, very good move to first and to second. Welch now comes home with it to Radborn. 0-2 delivery. Radborn, a little bounding ball up to first. Frank Chance takes the room service bounce and retires old Haas Radborn. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 runner left on, and we go to the top of the third. It's Liverpool 1, Providence nothing. Liverpool will send up Mickey Welch, and then Tris Speaker and Kip Selbach. So Robbie on yet another project. He's playing footy. Use Gonfelon in a sentence, right? I think that's the only time I've ever seen that word used in a sentence, is the Franklin P. Adams poem. All right, Mickey Welch hitting a .232, a home run, 9 runs batted in for the Liverpool pitcher. Haas Radborn in the game has rung up 2. Speaker waits on deck for Liverpool. Radborn delivers the Welsh, the 1-1 pitch, fastball, and Bid McPhee dives for this one, fields it, and up on from his knees to throw out Mickey Welch. So what a play. What a play by Bid McPhee for the first out. That one is a definite replay, and here it comes. Watch McPhee. So this one gets past Radborn at first, and McPhee, what a stop on to Chase. Bid McPhee flashing the leather for Providence there at the Keystone sack, and that brings up Tris Speaker. We're back at the top of the order for the Liverpool Fabs. And Speaker bunted to the catcher back in the first inning. Radbourne delivers the 2-2 pitch, and Tris Speaker called third, strike three. So the curveball by Radbourne dropping the hammer. And that brings up Kip Selbach. Selbach nothing for one, popped second, back in the first. Radbourne's delivery, the 2-0 pitch, fastball. Selbach sends this one to center field. Hamilton coming in, covering a lot of ground, and makes the catch. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. Go to the bottom of the third, Liverpool 1 and Providence Liberty nothing. Todd B says a truism here. Robbie has more projects than Ken has adult films. And considering also Ken having a platinum membership to a site that deals with different types of corn, so field corn and the kind of corn that human beings eat and what have you, Ken, with a heavy interest in agricultural products, certainly many viewing hours about the cellulose-covered comestible. Thank you very much. Where on YouTube in the sports gaming community are you going to hear somebody saying the cellulose-covered comestible? How about it? Very nice. Because of the vagaries of the English language, that was not alliteration, though all three words did start with the letter C. Thank you very much. Back at the top of the order now for Providence and Slide Billy Hamilton, who is nothing for one. And Welch winds and fires 0-1. Fastball to Hamilton. This one skied to right. Kelly going back on the ball and makes the catch in front of the advertising. Was hoping to see the Hootman famous poster, but that one on the outside of the Huntington Avenue grounds. One down, Tommy Leach again talking about in the 1903 World Series how the fans constantly running onto the field, and he said those fans were as much a part of the game as the players. And look back at images of the 1903 World Series and you'll see fans all over the park, and these are while games are in progress. Keeler now is nothing for one. Okay. Now this is funny. Ken Castro says the only difference is he finishes his film projects, quote unquote. And Robbie says he has sadly more projects than girls wanting to be your wife. Well, Robbie, maybe the fact that you don't finish too early might be a I don't know. Anyhow, Clinton Parks. Yep, Ken does give new meaning to the phrase can of corn. Nice. Clinton Parks flinging the BS here around Huntington Avenue grounds. He says, I worry about this group. I'm such a pious person, peaceful husband to a saint. I will agree on the saint part as far as the lovely Honey Bunny goes, but the rest of it, I call BS, man. Anyhow, what could go wrong, says the Professor Clinton Parks. What indeed? Willie Keeler, nothing for one in the game. He lined to second, back in the first. Yep, Clinton has been hacked, says D. Scott Howard. Yeah, Clinton Parks says that's the problem. Robbie finishes too early. You're never going to get a woman that way, buddy, that's for sure. All right. Keeler stands in on the left, batting from the left. Mickey Welsh has walked 3. Has not struck out anybody. And he hasn't done one other thing yet either. Welsh delivers now to Keeler. 1-1 pitch. Keeler chopper to short. Dolan over to his right. Up with it. And makes the throw to Frank Chance to retire Keeler for the second out of the inning. Here's Joe Kelly. And Joe Kelly with a walk back in the first. And a steal. Welch fires it in now. First pitch swinging. Joe Kelly gets the bunt down. Looks like a good one. Chance up with it though on to Abbaticchio covering. Side retired. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on. We've played 3 here at the Huntington Avenue grounds. It is Liverpool Fabs 1, Providence Liberty Tree nothing. Do they still have pills for these problems, says Todd B. Bill Dolan will start it off. Liverpool sending up the heart of its order. Dolan, Kelly, and Chance. Bill Dolan in the game, nothing for one. He popped out to Ewing back in the first. Old Haas has whipped three, has not walked anyone. 1-0 your score here in the fourth. Radbourne, the 2-1. Fastball swung on. This one golfed out to right field. Willie Keeler brings down the can of corn in honor of his manager, Ken Castro, who knows much about corn, whether it be in cans, freezer bags, or fresh corn. As Michael Kelly steps in, 0 for 1, who was insulted when he was accused of drinking lemonade in a pub at 2 a.m. Kelly said, "I would never drink lemonade in a pub at 2 a.m. Kelly, though, of course, dying rather young, heavy drinker, but what a talented ball player he was. Radbourne delivers now to King Kelly. Kelly swinging on the first pitch. Hard ground ball, and McGraw making the diving stop up and throws across to Chase. And Kelly has speed. So what a play by Little Napoleon to get King Kelly. 2 down now. And it brings up Frank Chance, the peerless leader, is 1 for 1. He was 1 of 2 Liverpool's hits. Doubled back in the second. Radbourne into his motion and the 1-0 delivery. Chance, fastball, base hit up the middle. This one by McPhee into center, sliding Billy up with it, getting the ball in. Chance with 38 steals on the season as Chief Zimmer steps in. Well, it was 2 hits, so he had the other hit before Frank Chance. RBI single scoring Frank Chance back in the second inning. Radbourne checks Chance. He winds and fires. There goes Chance. Ewing throws down McPhee. This one's going to get by McPhee. Chance slides. McGraw's tag. Not in time. Throwing error by Buck Ewing. And Frank Chance at third. So potential second run for Liverpool just 90 feet away in the peerless leader. 2 down. Chief Zimmer back in the box. Zimmer 1 for 1 in the game with an RBI, scoring Frank Chance. Liverpool would like to see a repeat of that. So Chance picks up the steal. Radbourne fires it in, the 1-0 delivery. And this one chopped to second. Elberfeld up with it and makes the nice play on to Howe Chase. So Liverpool threatens. They do not score. They do not take advantage of the error. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 1 left on. Bottom of the fourth inning. Liverpool clinging to a 1-0 lead. So, Clinton says, noticed you never said Cobb, so there must be something lacking with Cousin. That is something that I don't think I would rather know, Clinton. Oh my God. Asian corn. Todd talking about different types of corn available around the world. Infield in at the corners as John McGraw leads it off here for Providence in the fourth. Chance in at first. Zimmerman in at third. McGraw in the game, walked back in the first. Mickey Welsh winds and fires. McGraw swinging first pitch, fastball, bounding ball to short. Dolan juggling the ball, cannot hold on to it. And that is the E6 and a 21st error by Bill Dolan. And that's a base runner now for Providence. And John McGraw with 42 steals on the season. As Frank Chance steps in, or how Chase steps in, I'm sorry. Chase fly to right back in the first. Cousin Ken either go and steal or hit and run here. Let's see. All right, gotcha, Cousin. Welch with the check of Little Napoleon at first is how Chase in the game fly to right back in the first. Here's the wind in the delivery from Mickey. There goes McGraw. Zimmer with the throw down. And this one, a throwing error by Zimmer, and McGraw will get to third. So here we go, just like in our first game. McGraw, 90 feet away, nobody out. Throwing error, E2 on Chief Zimmer. Chase back in the box now. 1-0 pitch from the stretch by Mickey Welch. Chase, high pop-up on the infield. Selbach coming in, and Zimmerman going toward the stands makes the catch in foul territory. One down. So big out there for Liverpool as Ben McPhee steps in. McPhee walked back in the second. World's Worst Gamer saying just going through box scores around the league and his worst teams in the league and found a situation where pitcher was pulled with a no-hitter. DKS needs to add something to allow us to stop that. There is. I mean, I don't know unless you're auto playing through it, but you can actually, in the rules section, I think, World's Worst Gamer, you can set up that it will alert you on any computer substitution. So, yep. So you can prevent it. It will say allow so and so to pitch, and you can say no or whatever. So you can definitely set Action PC up to do that. All right, McPhee in the box now. Welch from the stretch and the 1-0 delivery. Fastball. This one sent to shallow center. Speaker coming in on it. Makes the catch. Is McGraw going to run on Speaker? He will, and he will score. Providence tying it up here in the bottom of the fourth at 1 apiece. D. Scott says multi-pitcher no-hitters are becoming more prevalent. Indeed, they are. All right, Buck Ewing, 0-for-1. A run in here for Providence. 2 down. Ewing is 0-for-1. Grounded to first back in the second. Mickey Welch with the 1-0. Fastball, and this one solid contact, but right to Zimmerman at third. 1 run. No hits, 2 errors, 4 in the books, and we are tied at 1 here at Huntington Avenue grounds. Liverpool will send up Heine Zimmerman at Abaticio and Mickey Welch to face Old Haas Radbourne. Oh, wow. Ken Castro says, found a Facebook post today. We're a longtime partner, 60 or longtime gamer, 60 years. Chronicled every game he's played. Has box scores to prove it. He's recorded 91 no-nos. How about it? That's awesome. Zimmerman, 0-for-1, struck out against Radbourne back in the second. Radbourne winds and fires the 1-2 pitch. Fastball. This one dropped by Ewing, but Ewing throwing down to McPhee to get Zimmerman 1 away. And here's Ed Abaticio. Abaticio is 0-for-1. The second baseman grounded to third his last time up. Radbourne kicks and fires. Looking bunt, and instead Abaticio swinging away, base hit to right. Keeler up with it. So Liverpool with a runner on, the go-ahead run on at first. Abaticio with 22 steals, and here's Mickey Welch. 0-for-1. You wonder how many cycles he's had. How about it? Welch grounded to second, back in the third. Providence looking double play here. And Radbourne winds and fires. Welch, oh, throw down. Abaticio is caught stealing. So a little lapse there perhaps by Liverpool. And Abaticio is cut down, and Welch batting now with 2 down, bases empty. potential go-ahead run. Liverpool trying a little bit of chicanery, if you will. Radbourne delivers. And that is strikeout number 5 by Old Haas. Inning over, no runs, 1 hit, no errors. Nobody left thanks to the caught stealing. We go to the bottom of the 5th, and we are knotted at 1. But Robbie, autoplay is an option if you think about it. Just ask a channel that never talks about mine, but I always talk kindly of his, RJL Network, who does his 10-minute ticker. So you can do it. So it's not like it's not an option. But I understand what you're saying in the game itself. But yes, you can. And Clinton's doing some right? I don't know. I'm assuming he's doing some autoplay in his projects. Yeah, you can do it. Only thing I would say is with using something like whatever it is that Robert uses. Robert's a nice guy. Nice guy. You don't really get a sense of what happened in the game. So in that respect, Robbie, yeah, I do agree. And Ken says, why would you want to autoplay? All right, Elberfeld, fly to shallow center. He'll lead it off here for Providence. Number 8, 9, and 1 hitters, Elberfeld, Radbourne, and Hamilton due up. Meet me in the 70s autoplay, says Todd B. Or, I mean, Ken Castro. Not sure, Clinton. Not sure what you're doing. If you're going to roll out every game, that is awesome. And Cousin Ken says you're knocking him out fast, too. Long way from PA to Maine there, my friend. So, not like I can stop over and have a beer with you, although it'd be fun and play a little dice chucking with you. Really looking for somebody to play some cards and dice baseball, but alas, I don't like to play that solitaire. It just doesn't make sense to me. For me. Elberfeld cuts on this. And this one, high pop fly on the infield. Dahlin going out on the shallow grass and camps under and makes the catch. 1 down. Radbourne, nothing for 1. Steps in against Welch. Grounded to first, back in the 2nd. Coming up on 2 hours in this broadcast. 2nd game of the doubleheader. Welch comes home with it now. Radbourne swings. Liner right to Bill Dahlin. 2 away, and we go back to the top of the order for Providence and slide Billy Hamilton. He's nothing for 2 against Liverpool today. He is grounded to 2nd, fly to deep right. Todd does not like to autoplay. He's closing in on 700 manual games in his Action PC League. That's amazing. Good for you, my friend. All right. Hamilton, nothing for 2. We're on the brink of seeing AI make some amazing changes all over the place, and I see that trickling into gaming. I've been doing a lot of interesting stuff with artificial intelligence that I'll be featuring on the channel that I'm going to be starting, that I won't be telling you guys what it is. You just have to find it. Although one person did say in Discord they would subscribe for the music stuff, so... but I won't be announcing the name of that channel on here, I don't think. All right. Welch delivers 2 down to Hamilton, the 0-2 pitch. And Hamilton looks at a called 3rd, strike 3. So Mickey Welch picks up his first strikeout. No runs, no hits, no errors. And we are knotted at 1 as we go to the 6th. 1-1. Speaker, nothing for 2, back at the top of the order now for Liverpool. Speaker is nothing for 2. He bunted out and struck out. Radbourne with 5 Ks in the game. And by the way, Satchel Paige in today's game had 20 strikeouts. Radbourne comes home with it now to Speaker, the 1-1 pitch. And the Gray Eagle pops this one high in the infield. This one's going to bring rain, as Ernie would say. And right down into Kid Elberfeld's glove for out number 1. Speaker number 2 in batting average in our league. Not getting it done today for Liverpool. Left fielder Kip Selbach now went there. He is nothing for 2. He's popped to second and fly to shallow center. Radbourn kicks and fires. First pitch swinging. This fastball, bounding ball to second. McPhee up with it. On to Chase for out number 2. Here's one of Cousins' favorite players playing for Liverpool. Bad Bill Dolan. And you look at him. You look at the eyes. Dolan is not a dude you want to tangle with. Dolan in the game is nothing for 2 against Radbourn and Providence. He's popped out and flied to deep right. Radbourn delivers now the 0-2 pitch. Dolan swings. This one popped in the infield. And it looks like it's going to be Bid McPhee this time. And he makes the catch. So Liverpool goes quietly. We go to the bottom of the 6th, and we are knotted at 1. Willie Keeler, Joe Kelly, and John McGraw due up for the Providence Liberty Tree as we are knotted at 1. Liverpool at 65 and 64. Providence at 67 and 62. So Liverpool trying to play a little bit of spoiler here. Just on the fringes of this race at this point, Liverpool. Chat continuing about cards and dice and auto playing. As Mickey Welch peers in, gets the sign from catcher Chief Zimmer. Here is the wind in the 1-2 pitch. Curveball, and Keeler got a piece of it, but Zimmer hanging on to that. So a rare strikeout of Keeler, 1 down. And that's Mickey Welch's second whiff in the game. He's walked 3. Joe Kelly now steps to the plate. Left fielder is nothing for 1. He has walked and bunted to first. McGraw waits on deck. Welch with the 1-2 pitch. Fastball popped high on the infield. Dolan and Zimmerman calling for it. Dolan going out almost on the grass and makes the play. 2 up, 2 down. And Ken Castro says world's worst gamer. If you want to get through as many seasons as I do, you can't be playing every game. Also, if I play every game, where is the game in that? I am playing against nobody. Things getting heated in here, says, or gonna get heated in here, says our north of the border friend. John McGraw batting with 2 down. McGraw nothing for 1. He walked and was safe on an error back in the 4th. McGraw would then steal and make it to 3rd. Welch's delivery, 2-2 pitch, and McGraw looks at a call, 3rd strike 3. 3rd strikeout by Mickey Welch. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We go to the 7th. We are knotted at 1, and it's a very interesting ball game now. King Kelly will lead it off for Liverpool. The number 4, 5, 6 hitters coming up. King Kelly, Frank Chance, and Chief Zimmer. Right fielder King Kelly is nothing for 2 in the second game of our twin bill. Struck out, rounded to 3rd. Radbourn now with the 0-1 delivery. Curveball to Kelly. Kelly, good grounder. And Elberfeld not able to hold on to that E6 32nd error on the season for Kid Elberfeld. Second error for Providence today, and King Kelly is aboard. King Kelly with 36 steals on the season. Frank Chance a perfect 2 for 2 today. Doubled back in the 2nd and singled in the 4th. Kelly an aggressive lead at 1st. Indeed, something interesting going on, world's worst gamer. Radbourn with a check of Kelly at 1st. Cousin Ken going up with the glove. Really? Cousin, that's my team. But if you'd like me to steal, I will. Remember, I can't manage my team. I'm the visiting team, and you're calling for the steal? I'll put Kelly on second. Sure. All right. So you can see it's down here, computer play call. Don't want you to think I'm gonna. Besides, you'd see me. I'd have to go up and change it to human anyhow. So if Kelly steals, it's because the AI is making him steal. Radbourne with a check of the runner. Michael King. Kelly. Here's the pitch. There goes Kelly. Ewing fires it down. McPhee with the tag, and Michael Kelly caught stealing, one down. So this has happened twice now for Liverpool. They get a runner aboard and then stealing on a not so good count. That caught stealing coming on the 1-0. Chance back in for 2 for 2, and I'll bring up a topic right now. These good hours as I'm taking over. So here's the thing I'm going to bring up to you guys. We're talking about this in our Negro League game today. And no, YouTube don't have a cow. That's what they were called. I am of the... Unlike the lesser team sports, baseball is situational, by count, by pitch. And I've done an entire game pitch by pitch. And I am convinced that to truly get a full baseball experience, you really got to play pitch by pitch. You just got to. I know that we do this for expediency, just to get, but strategy, right, to get the game done. But strategy in baseball depends on that count. So what say you, baseball gurus, about pitch by pitch? We are going to do our World Series, I've decided, in this game. We're going to do it pitch by pitch, by the way. So that's going to be fun. I want to try a pitch by pitch game again. All right, Chance 2 for 2, bases empty, one down. Radbourne with the 1-0. Chance chops this one up the middle. McPhee ranging to his right and makes the throw to Hal Chase to retire the fearless leader. The peerless leader, 2 down. For catcher Chief Zimmer, who's 1 for 2. RBI single scored. Frank Chance back in the second and making it 1-0 Liverpool until we go to the fourth. World's Worst Gamer says he plays his game for his team pitch by pitch, or as best as they let it happen with Action PC. Play the whole thing pitch by pitch. I just think that, because F-ball, basketball, right, hockey, there's no counts. All of those games are similar because you're defending goals, whether it's on ice, hardwood, or grass / artificial turf, or whatever you want to call it. But in baseball, a 2-1 pitch or 2-1 count and a 1-2 count demand different strategies, especially if you have a runner on. And what type of hitter you have up here. The game within the game that I believe the other games do not have, which is why I call them the lesser sports. Radbourne delivers now with 2 down. 2-2 pitch to Zimmer, and Zimmer cut and a miss. That's the 6th strikeout by Old Haas. Middle of the 7th. We are knotted at 1. I'm not talking right or wrong, Robbie. It's not about being wrong or right. But I do believe that for pitch by pitch, when you got runners on, that pitch by pitch, especially with runners on, but I would argue even for the whole thing. You're going to give a guy a green light on a 3-0 pitch to swing away. You don't get that opportunity. We see a lot of 3-0 counts here, and they're going to end up in walks or whatever. But you might want to take on that 3-0 pitch, see what that pitcher's doing. And we did some pitch by pitch today, and really loved it. I'm thinking for as long as my streams last, I ought to just do pitch by pitch. But I like talking to you guys, so. But then I'm not talking about right or wrong, Robbie. I think you're misunderstanding me. I said baseball is best played pitch by pitch because it's different than the lesser sports. All right, my own opinion though. What the hell do I know, right? Welch delivers now to Chase, who's nothing for two. Chase swings, fly ball to center. The Gray Eagle coming in fast and making the catch. One down. McPhee is nothing for one as this interesting game continues. Sacrifice scoring McGraw back in the fourth, tying it 1-1. Mickey Welch into his motion. 2-0 delivery to McPhee. And the no-hitter is finally broken up as McPhee sends this one past the glove of Ed Abaticchio into center field. So that's what was interesting. We had a tie score, but Providence not getting its first hit here until the bottom of the seventh. Steve Tate coming in here at 12:11 a.m. on the East Coast. And he says he cursed the no-hitter. No worries, Steve. Always good to see you. Okay. Robbie Wartburg talking about something World's Worst Gamer was saying. All right, so McPhee on first. McPhee with 4 steals in the season. And Buck Ewing, nothing for 2. Ken Castro up with the glove. He's going to steal with the proper team this time, or hit and run. There we go. So Steve, you'll be happy to know that when I had a runner on base, Ken wanted me to steal, and Ken's managing his own team here. So it was beautiful. It was beautiful. All right, well, I'll say the first part. Steve Tate says it was a great day today. Sim baseball, and then something happening in F-ball that made him very happy. So there you go. All right, awesome, awesome, awesome. McPhee with a good lead off first. Welch checks the runner, comes home with it. Curveball, there goes McPhee. The hit and run was in motion, and Selbach going back to this one into left, makes the catch. McPhee will hold it first. So 2 down. And that brings in Kid Elberfeld, who has flied out and popped out. You know, it's interesting, Todd. He says, Todd saying Ken needs out of the park so we can set hot dog prices too. You know, I've never, ever touched that in out of the park baseball. Ever. I don't deal with any of the financial stuff. I could not. I could not care less. But for Ken, while he is working on those, when he's working those hot dog prices, he can call his steal for other teams. You know I love you, cousin, but that was beautiful. Saw that hand go up. I'm like, what the hell is Ken doing? And there it was. It was the stolen base. As it turned out, King Kelly was caught stealing anyhow. So Ken actually being the artificial intelligence and the human manager in this game number 2 of this twin bill. Ken, you'll live it down by 2025. No worries, buddy. Welch comes home with it now to Elberfeld. Here's the 2-out delivery. There goes McPhee. Zimmer's throw to Abaticchio. Not in time. That one was very, very close. McPhee picking up his 5th steal of the season. Go-ahead run in scoring position for Providence. Elberfeld back in the box. The wind by Welch in the 1-0. Fastball, base hit into right. This could be enough. Speaker up with it. McPhee around third, and he will score. And Providence plates one here in the bottom of the 7th. It is 2-1. And that brings up old Haas Radborn, who's nothing for 2. Elberfeld on first with 21 steals, 2 down. Welch with a check of the runner. And I just read something, it's killing me. Here's Todd B says, wait, Ken should never set wiener prices. Ken going up with the glove. All right, gotcha, Ken. Welch now fires at home. There goes Elberfeld, hit and run. And fly ball to Speaker, who camps under it and makes the catch. Side retired, 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, a man left. We have played 7. It's Providence 2 and the Fabs 1. Just a quick thing about the Negro League thing, guys, because I'm thinking about my team here, since I can't manage it. At least when I'm hosting Negro League teams or whatever, or if we're going to split it up among channels, I will not be doing a team this time. So hopefully we can get 8 to 10 of you interested in this project, in the Negro Leagues project coming up. You'll understand when you're hosting these games, right? Because I'm seeing what play you want to call, and it kind of gives me an unfair advantage. So I can't really manage my team at home the way it works. But I'm having fun just seeing my guys here. So hopefully get the word out if anybody's interested in Negro League Baseball. We're looking for 8 owners, GMs, and I will not be among them. I'm just going to be the dude doing what I'm doing. Zimmerman is nothing for 2, and that's not sour grapes. I just can't manage my team, so what's the point of drafting one? Zimmerman has struck out twice, except to see how they do. It's not a bad team. 65 and 64, though looking to go to 500 now. Pardon me. Old Haas Radborn delivers now to Zimmerman here. Payoff pitch. Zimmerman lays off, and the tying run reaches here in the 8th. And that brings up Ed Abaticio, who's 1 for 2. Singled back in the 5th. Zimmerman with 15 steals. Radborn with a check of the runner. The delivery, the 0-2 to Abaticio, fastball. And this one grounded down the third base line. McGraw will go to McPhee. McPhee on the pivot will go to Hal Chase. And Abaticio grounding into the double play. 2 away, and here is Mickey Welch. Welch is nothing for 2. Grounded out, struck out. Well, Todd, I will say this. So, or Clinton, I will say this is one time I would suggest an auto draft, as most of us are rather limited in the education of the Negro Leagues, plus what years, as there were 2 true segments. Well, we're covering pretty much all of it. Clinton, to answer the second part of the question first. So we're getting players as early as Pop Lloyd and as late as players like Satch Paige, who do finally make it to the majors. None of the Negro League players, except for Satch Paige, that went to the majors, are going to be in this. You're not going to see Campanella, Doby, Monty Irvin, Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, anyone like that. As to your second question, the Negro Leagues project itself is not going to be too much later in the year. Steve and I will be doing a lot of broadcasts on his channel where we're going to be testing these files. It will give you guys a chance to not only see how they play on the field, but do some research. It's going to be a pool of 200, anywhere from 200 to 250 players. So really, I think it's going to be time for you guys to do your research in Negro League Baseball. Since part of it is supposed to be kind of educative. But if we get down to it, and that's why I was asking Robbie today, are you watching the game, taking notes, how these players play? But if you guys decide rather that you want an auto draft and then learn with these players as you go, that is certainly an option. But the second part is, Clinton, I promise you, with Steve's hard work, that the Negro Leagues, all segments of the Negro League, so the Eastern Colored League, the Negro National League, the Negro American League, 20s, we're going back to the teens and into the late 40s for Negro League Baseball. So Pop Lloyd is my shortstop, and Pop Lloyd played at the same time as Hannes Wagner, as you know. 2 down, the delivery from Radborn to Welch. Welch, comebacker to the mound. Radborn, this is going to be close, and they do get Welch by a step. That does it. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Providence leading Liverpool with 2-1. Providence will sit at the top of its order. Slided Billy Hamilton, Willie Keeler, and Joe Kelly. Um, I don't know that we'll go back to the 80s. Fleetwood Walker was technically a major leaguer, didn't play in the Negro Leagues. I seriously doubt we're going to go to the 19th century. Negro Leagues created in response. Really, the Negro Leagues are a 20th century thing, so we will not see Fleet Walker, but we can name a ballpark after Fleet if we'd like. Because of the rules in the 1880s, to put Fleet Walker in there would be, and not representative. And Fleet Walker, really well remembered, I think, in the game. Probably more than Cannonball Redding, Hall of Famer. Of course, Satch Paige, probably the most such. Satch Paige, Josh Gibson, Oscar Charleston, Cool Papa Bell, probably the four that are most well remembered from the Negro Leagues, but great players. We'll see. It's going to be months down the line, guys. Months down the line. There's going to be an all-star game for Black History Month, but no panics yet. It's not even close to being ready. All right, Hamilton nothing for 3. Welch winds and fires to Hamilton, the 0-1. And Hamilton gets the bunt down. Zimmer pounces on it, on to Abaticcio to retire Hamilton. 1 down. Keeler nothing for 3. He is lined out, grounded out, and a rare strikeout of Willie Keeler. Steve Tate says his goal will be to provide all the player data, World's Worst Gamer. To post the reports in Discord for all to analyze prior to any draft. Yep. All right. Good stuff. The idea, again, guys, not trying to be like mean or fascist about it, but one of the ideas, which is the same for this Ned McGreevy League as it is for these Negro League players, is to not only for you to learn, right? For all of us to learn. Steve's going to know more about all of these players more than any of us by the time this thing is ready to go. But it will be fun. Dive deep into seam heads. You've got encyclopedias. It's a Negro League Encyclopedia Baseball. It's really awesome. Steve's crazy hard work that he's been doing. Steve also put a link into the Negro Leagues Baseball online museum. So there's plenty of research opportunities, and it's good. This project's probably at least 3 months out, I would think, with all the testing and everything, unless Steve surprises me. But I'm guessing probably at this point April at the earliest, and there's no rush. We'll be in our 1960s stuff. So, all right. Anyhow, I hope you guys will appreciate that, because these Negro League players, above all players, deserve to be remembered. Welch delivers to Keeler. Keeler lofts this one to center, and Speaker making a great play out there. Two down for Joe Kelly. There's a near collision out there between Kelly and Speaker, but Speaker holding on to the ball. Here's the delivery now. Kelly swings, chopper to third. Zimmerman up with it. Throw across the diamond. Kelly is fast, but they get him by a step. Inning over. We go to the 9th. Liverpool down by 1 run. And we will see the top of the order. Speaker, Kip Selbach, and Bill Dolan. Selbach up there a little high in the order. Might have to visit that at some point. Gray Eagle is nothing for 3. He's bunted out, struck out, and popped to short. Radbourne works to him, the 0-1 delivery. And Speaker sends this one to right field. This one routine for Keeler. 1 down. Kip Selbach, nothing for 3. Radbourne winds and fires. The 2-2 to Selbach. Grounder to McGraw. McGraw up with it. Routine 5-3 put out of Selbach for out number 2. Providence looking now to improve to 68 and 62. Bill Dolan, nothing for 3. He's popped out twice and fly to deep right. Radbourn into his motion. And first pitch swinging. Dahlin sends it down the left field line. Foul territory. And making the catch in left is Joe Kelly. And Providence takes this one from Liverpool 2-1. All right. Let us. That's the idea, Robbie. That is the idea. Oh, you're most welcome, Cousin Ken. Most welcome. He says, nice game, cousin. Robbie says, going to have to learn all about the Negro League players. At least learn about a lot of the great ones, Robbie. It's going to be, I think, a very, very rewarding thing. And then we'll talk about that after we do our game recap, just really quickly. Liverpool falls to 65 and 65. Providence improves to 68 and 62. Mickey Welsh had a no-hitter going for a little while in this one, and Providence even managing to tie the game. Providence will come back to win this, so Welsh falls to 18 and 12. Old Hoss Radbourn improves to 26 and 20. Frank Chance for Liverpool went 2 for 3 with a double and a stolen base and a losing cause. Bid McPhee for Providence Liberty Tree went 1 for 2 with a stolen base. So Welsh pitched 8 innings, 2 runs. Only 1 run was earned. He walked 3, struck out 3. And Old Hoss Radbourn went 9, 1 run. It was not earned. Walked 1, struck out 6. Quick miscellaneous, and we'll wrap this up as this wasn't really a game. Well, it was a game of some consequence. We'll see if Providence moves up. Errors: Bill Dahlin, Chief Zimmer, Buck Ewing, Kid Elberfeld. So 4 errors in this game. Frank Chance picking up his 8th double. Stolen base, only 1 for Liverpool, and that was Frank Chance. Providence, Joe Kelly, John McGraw, and Bid McPhee. 3 Irishmen. A lot of Irishmen on this Providence team, as it's mostly 19th century players, picking up their steals. Liverpool, Ed Abaticio caught stealing, as was King Kelly. Chief Zimmer picks up RBI number 40. Bid McPhee, RBI number 7. Kid Elberfeld, RBI number 48. 1 pass ball. Buck Ewing, that's his 34th pass ball. Great plays. Speaker with his 25th. McGraw with his 19th. And McPhee with his 4th. Liverpool left 2. Providence left 4. Providence turned a double play. Game-winning RBI was Kid Elberfeld, and the MVP rightly going to Old Hoss Radbourn. And let's let this refresh, and we will have our standings for the day. All right, so here we go. Manchester defeating Philadelphia tonight. So coming in just 1 game in first place, now still holding on. But Philadelphia and Cleveland, they are just 2 games out and tied for second at 69 and 61. Providence just 3 games out, 68 and 62. Butler 5 games back. Bellingham 6 out along with Liverpool. So Bellingham and Liverpool both playing 500 ball at 65 and 65. Carolina 4 games below 500, 8 games back. Arsenal 62 and 68, 9 out, and then St. Louis at 52 and 78, 19 out, and 2 away from elimination. So we have some big games coming up. Carolina with a chance to play spoiler against Cleveland when next we meet. And then we'll also see Philadelphia at Manchester. So we will at least play one of those games, probably Philadelphia and Manchester, but we'll see. We want to give Cleveland a go and see if Carolina can play a little spoiler with them. So getting down to the end of it. In fact, after the next one, then we do September call-ups. So hopefully you guys have been thinking about 5 players from the 1920s and the combinations of pitchers and hitters to spice it up. Anyhow, the last step for after we start our Negro League draft season is Steve is also working. He's carded I think 35 players, um, major league players, right? So let's say non-integrated major league players. Is that the best way to put it? And it's going to be fun. We're going to do some tests. Steve's going to be doing some testing, and hopefully I'll be part of that. Where we're going to have some fun matchups like Satch Page versus Rube Waddell or Johnson or whatever, Dick Red, whomever. It's going to be a lot of fun, and to be able to finally fold those players, and with Steve's amazing file, being able to play these Negro League players against some great teams. Um, it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun seeing them normaled out. It's good stuff. Of course, the next big monster step would be, and I shouldn't even say this because I know Steve would be, well, we'll try it anyhow. Could you imagine using major league equivalencies, but it would be an impossible job to actually, say, card 250 players their careers using those major league equivalencies? That would be, but that would require like so many people to work on something like that. But to actually create um, some Negro League teams based on single season stats using those major league equivalencies, I think that would be fun. But with what Steve's doing and creating, and since a lot of us like to do a lot of people here, I do like they like to do season replays. I'm not really one of them, but there's nothing wrong with them. But what Steve's doing is amazing. So, and I do want to get that website up that I've been talking about. Guess that's it. Yep. So the Negro Leagues are being carded from 1900 to 1940s, and focusing on major league players in the 1900 from 1900 to 1940s. Yeah, despite the obvious, anyone is eligible. Babe Ruth, not under any circumstances. Home run cutoff, Todd, would be 13 in the baseball history collection. So Steve Tate finishing Napoleon Lajoie right tonight before heading off to bed. Nice. And Ken asking Steve about projection sets. Steve said he's never purchased them or created them. No experience with them. I've never worked with them either. I mean, as far as playing them, they don't really interest me. Steve just bought the Action Baseball History Collection and realized they have a new 2022 version. Yeah, with a bunch of subsets, including by nation. I had the original file when it first came out. Yeah, I've never installed the subsets. I update that Steve every year. Every year I update the Baseball History Collection. I have like every season in Action PC Baseball, and the thing I use most is the Baseball History Collection. I absolutely love it for what you can do. So, but yeah, the nation subset is really cool. Of course, you guys want to get into making some leagues of your own. Don't forget the frivolity section of Baseball Reference, which is you're starting to see more and more things from Baseball Gauge being brought over now to Baseball Reference. And I was talking to Robbie. This was back in 2019 when Baseball Gauge was still operating. I said, you know what? I had to make a states league file for Action PC. And then by the time I got around to it, Baseball Gauge was taken down. And then Dave Cook, like a year after that, did a states file. So that's certainly a lot of fun to play with if you want. I've not done much with it, but I know our Red Sox fan has. I have it. I want to challenge him sometime to a head-to-head Pennsylvania versus Massachusetts. Both have wicked teams, and I think Pennsylvania has the edge in pitching in that game. So we'll see. All right, and Todd is sleeping. Um, Clinton says he has every season status pro except the Negro Leagues and Digital Diamond Baseball. Looking forward to Digital Diamond Baseball, the new edition. Wow. So, for those of you who may not know, I guess Mark is going to be incorporating Status Pro Baseball into Digital Diamond. I think that's going to be fun. Oh, okay. I just saw zing. So, all right. Sorry about that, Todd. Steve says that he was able to grab a bunch of great ratings for pitchers when the gauge was up. Whatever happened to that? The guy just decided he was just done with it. Went to baseball gauge and he had the thing. He said, I just can't keep up with the project, and um, much of it was going to be integrated into baseball reference. Baseball gauge was phenomenal. I wish that he would have sold that to somebody. You could do it had these amazing graphs where you could go through game by game and see scores as they were progressing. It did it for all the World Series. You could do player versus player analysis in baseball gauge. You could create any team you wanted. You could do all kinds of stuff with baseball gauge. Yeah, right. It was just amazing. Hold ratings, right? It was brilliant. Baseball gauge was brilliant, and I wish the folks at Baseball Reference would hurry up and integrate the rest of the baseball gauge. It was just brilliant, and so sorry to see that go. I went on there and I created some what if All Star games or All Star teams prior to 1933, and it did depth charts for you. So it wasn't you just create, right? You would set up all these parameters and it would set up the teams, do your depth charts. It was brilliant for team creation. And I wish I would have created those teams because I wanted to do some all star games, obviously, duh, back in the dead ball era and certainly in the 1920s as well, before Arch Ward stole the idea from the Negro Leagues in 1933. Steve Tate says that he's enjoying his baseball reference stat head subscription. Could do his project without it. I do want to subscribe to that once I get some paychecks under my belt. Things looking a little dicey right now, so can't do anything like that, unfortunately. I don't know what the subscription price is, but definitely one. I'm not going to be doing things like Steve does, but just to go in even more deeply than baseball reference, I think it would be a lot of fun to go in and play with StatHead. Um, my understanding, Todd's asking, could the actual Negro League Hall of Fame help with any stats? They are doing their best. I mean, they certainly don't have you know, maybe the budget that the National Baseball Hall of Fame, but there's a big effort all over with Saber, um, baseball, just everybody, and more stats are becoming available, which is nice. The problem being, though, that the other things that were segregated besides baseball back in the day were newspapers. And so a lot of the Negro League newspapers went by the wayside, and the big white newspapers of the day just weren't covering Negro League baseball, um, unfortunately. And even in the earlier Negro Leagues, you would have teams drop it in, drop it out, and they didn't play the schedule that we think of. They played a lot of barnstorming games and stuff like that. So um, it's going to be a huge amount of research that I hope carries on for years and years and years, and finally we can get an even more complete picture of actual seasons. But I think that should drive home what Steve is doing here is really, really important. There's nothing like this, what he's doing with these equivalencies. People are putting up seasons, certainly baseball for windows, and Diamond Mine Baseball has Negro Leagues. Um, Out of the Park, of course, has the Negro Leagues, all of them. That's the only game that does. But to try to play Negro League season is just crazy, and to try to do a draft in Out of the Park Baseball with Negro League players would be the same as trying to do them without Steve doing the Major League equivalencies. So what Steve's offering here is just astounding. And if I were Steve Tate, I would go to Out of the Park Development and say, I have this formula. This is what I would do. See if they'll buy it. I don't know whether Dave Cook would, but who knows about Out of the Park? Probably not. They've got that big corporation running them now. Steve says it's no, oh, it's only $9 a month. Oh, Okay. Well, yeah. Let me know, Steve. That I can do. I had to sort of pause Netflix, Hulu, Paramount Plus, all that stuff right now because it's more important to be able to do things, buy groceries. The job I have pays pretty well. It's just I started right in the middle of a pay period or something, which really sucks. Steve Tate says he could take a player's best 3 separate years for his project and then reassess their stat line to a specific year with StatHead. Really awesome. So what I was talking about could happen. Ken Castro says Chicago Defender and the Pittsburgh Courier covered Negro Leagues well back in the day. So that's what I'm saying about Pittsburgh, Ken. You were saying that the Kansas, and I know you were just kidding. The Kansas City would have something to say about Pittsburgh was really, really kind of the epicenter for Negro League baseball. Two teams out of there, and you had Gus Greenlee, and I mean, let's face it, there was some organized crime involvement in Negro League baseball, but you also had some legit excellent owners as well. One of them being Bill Bojangles Robinson, who owned the New York Black Yankees, and their players were treated for the most part pretty well. Um, of course, you had a lot of white owners. White owners actually dominated Negro League baseball, but it's fascinating, and I'm really excited to get into it. Today's game was fun, even though we did have some issues, but it was really fun to play with those players. It really was. And I think you guys are gonna like it. I think you guys are gonna have a lot of fun. And as far as researching, why not? You'll come out of it with a better knowledge of these fantastic baseball players who just were never brought to national attention because of prejudice. So, looking at our league leaders, we have so Jack Feaster now joining the ERA club of below 200. So we have Johnson, Alexander, Walsh, Weimer, Ward, and Feaster. Rube Waddell wanting to get under the 200 mark in ERA, but just can't get it done yet. The great Rube Waddell. Who's considered, oh my goodness. Steve says he's Tate. It could just be that Satchel is just that good. It could be. Hard to go by one game, obviously, but yep, Satchel striking out 20 players today. Don't want to give it up too much, but I drafted for speed, and Steve drafted for power, and interesting thing has happened in that game. And what's interesting is the power guy shut down the speed, and the speed guy shut down the power. Um, in terms of, yeah, well, you'll see. Check it out. It's good stuff. Good, 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 good stuff. Mm. Todd, I can't find right now. It's buried under a ton of books. I could answer a question about the history of the Negro Leagues, but unfortunately, I can't find the book to give you the author's name. But well-respected historian on Negro League baseball, and it's gratifying to see, especially now that the major leagues have recognized Negro League baseball as major leagues. I think you're going to see a lot more resources. At least I'm hoping being put toward um, these leagues. But again, you get this ground effort here by a gamer who's doing phenomenal things. I should bring those up for a second, just so you can see what they look like, what Steve has done so far, because most of you weren't there today. So I think that's the name, cousin. I think, but I don't want to say for sure that that's ringing a bell. Really quickly before we call this one, I am going to bring it up. So what you're going to see here, guys, is what things kind of look like. I'm just going to give it a second here to load in while we're talking. At least I'm hoping. Maybe not. It's because I hit the wrong thing. There we go. This is some of the hard work that Steve's doing. So he's created. You just see them now as Team One, Team Two. So today I played as the Pittsburgh Crawfords. Steve was the New York Stars. Fun stuff. So that you can look at some of these players. So let's we'll look at Steve's team since he's in here. So you can see if we look just at home runs, that Steve definitely drafting for power, and these are just crazy, crazy players, man. Josh Gibson, Mule Suttles, Oscar Charleston, Turkey Stearns. All right, Josh Gibson, 54 home runs. Mule Suttles, 35 on here. Charleston with 30. And then you've got Turkey Stearns with 29, Willie Wells 26. These guys are all Hall of Famers too. Um, Gibson with a crazy arm behind the dish too. Um, Look at the OPS on Steve's team, guys. He has 6 players at 1,000 or above. So Willie Wells, Cristobal Toriente, Mule Suttles, Turkey Stearns, Oscar Charleston, and Josh Gibson. And while Steve was drafting for power, he's got some speed on this team too. Charleston, to me, I mean, so um, Josh Gibson is scary, but Charleston to me is the most dangerous player on this team. I mean, when you look at that average, that OPS at 1.105, and he's got 30 home runs and 34 steals. Charleston is scary, scary. But you also got some other great players here. Um, and not all the greats are in here yet. For pitchers, you got Cyclone, aka Smokey Joe Williams, in here. And let's look. Strikeouts per 9. So basically, you've got Jose Mendez, Bill Foster, Joe Williams, the great Rube Foster, Ted Double Duty Radcliffe in there, great, great pitcher. Cristobal Toriente was amazing, and look, even Oscar Charleston can pitch a ball game for you too. Yep, Satch struck out Charleston and Gibson and Suttles 4 times. Satch shutting down the power on that side. Something else for you guys. Show you. Let's bring up Oscar Charleston. So what Steve has done, which is also amazing. So for you Action PC players out there, and for those of you who are playing other games, so down here usually you'll see just like, when the player was elected to the Hall of Fame, whatever. What Steve has done is created in the notes section for these players. Just a little, he has a 100-character limit. So we have Oscar Charleston here, considered the greatest Negro League player, a reliable slugger that won many batting titles. I think that's cool. And for you guys, when you get the file, you're going to be able to see. So Charleston is first in batting average right now in this league. He's third in home runs, third in triples, seventh in doubles, second in runs batted in, second in stolen bases. Um, just a monster. Let's look at another monster. Let's look at Josh Gibson, known as the Black Babe Ruth, one of the best ever power hitters and a consecutive Triple Crown winner. So Steve taking not only carding each player painstakingly, but going in to all these sites, doing his research, and putting in these uh, great little educational blurbs about each of these players. Of course, Josh, no surprise, first in home run and RBI. So I hope this will get you guys fired up about this. I think the file itself will help. So for those of you who don't have Action PC Baseball, kind of sorry about that. Maybe this will get you to pony up the $29 at least for the basic game if you're going to play in this, and you'll be able to see Steve's file. If you don't and you're still interested, we can post pictures of each roster or each player cards. So that's going to be a lot. But maybe what instead we could do, since you're not going to get the real nice sort of thing here, is we can at least post pictures of the rosters. If we take away photos, then we can see the entire batting and pitching roster for each team. So we may do that. Just use your baseball stats. So that would be for those of you who do not have Action PC Baseball. For those that you do, that'll be up to Steve how he would like to distribute it. So that's Steve's team there. Good stuff. Yeah, the baseball cards are cool. Show you a couple of my dudes. So cool Papa Bell, baby. There he is. And might have to zoom in a little bit, but Steve also designing the baseball cards. So cool Papa, of course, no surprise there. First in this league in steals, one of the fastest men ever to play the game, and famous for his legendary tales about his speed. And I mean, cool Papa Bell played in a league where it's a great combination of dead ball tactics and long ball, which is also exciting about Negro League Baseball. And for cool Papa Bell to be called by his peers to be that fast says a lot about cool Papa Bell, and all it makes me think that had he been able to play in the white major leagues, that maybe cool Papa Bell would have surpassed Ty Cobb in steals. Who knows? He might have put up numbers like Billy Hamilton did. Good stuff. So Steve says he can export reports to Excel as well. So I guess you guys do. I'm trying to get people to buy Action PC, but yeah, certainly. So Ken Castro says Black Writers, Black Baseball, an anthology of articles from black sports writers who cover the Negro Leagues. Ken Castro says my son got me this 2 years ago. Fascinating read. Good stuff. What would be fun would be to barnstorm these teams against all-time major league teams from Major League Baseball, and Steve says that that is the ultimate goal, and we'll be doing that, or Steve will be doing that, which is going to be fun, 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 fun. And Steve says also doing the same type of cards for Major League Baseball grades. Can you show those samples? Yeah, I'll have to bring up my and these are beautiful. Let me bring up my email and show you this one, guys. These are just beautiful, beautiful cards for the major league players. And I'm gonna go ahead and close this. All right, one sec, guys. Chat amongst yourselves, please. I'm not gonna stay signed in. These are incredible. And I'm going to bring up one at a time and bring them over. Let me, just bring over the whole damn thing. There we go. I really don't care if anybody knows my first and last name. I don't give a flying whatever. There's Arky Vaughn. So Arky Vaughn, you can see what he's done here. This is really, really nice. So basically the same baseball card template is using for the Negro Leagues, but what's really nice down here in the lower right corner is if the player was a National Leaguer, he gets the National League logo, American League, American League. So we will move on. I didn't download these yet, so let me see if I can do this for you. Yep, there we go. We'll do that little trick. There's the great Arky Vaughn, tutored by Hannes Wagner himself. So let me check my screen over there. I just want to make sure it's coming up for you guys. It's not showing yet. I want to make sure I didn't accidentally. Nope, I didn't. So just waiting to see if it comes up. There they come. And then we'll move over here. It's catching up to me now, finally. And as if one picture wasn't enough, Steve has made um, he's made like variants of these, just as he has for the Negro Leagues. All right, so we're gonna move on here from Arky Vaughn. There's Shoeless Joe, and you see the American League. Whoops, the American League logo down there. So great colorized photos of these guys. Really nice. So there's Shoeless Joe, the mill hand from South Carolina. Just wait till that catches up over there, and then I'll switch again. Yeah, Tops could learn a thing or two, says Todd. Absolutely. And yep, creating 3 or 4 photos for each player for variety. And we'll look at the next one in a second here. Hopefully this is garnering some interest. And I don't know why I'm getting this weird lag, but nonetheless. As soon as I switch it, see it switch to Joe Jackson, I'll go to the next player. Cool, and talk about him. Nice. All right, here is Grover Cleveland, Pete Alexander. So this is when he's with the Phillies. Not sure what year this would have been taken. Alexander, of course, served in the First World War as a private in no man's land. Came back shell-shocked. But what a great pitcher, and showing that in our league. There he is, the great Grover Cleveland Alexander. All right, next, Ty Cobb. So Ty Cobb, can't wait to see a Hannes Wagner card, by the way. There's Cobb showing that, and I was talking to Steve about this earlier. So Cobb was natural right-hander, but batted lefty because he said that gave him that extra second out of the box. But it's that split hand grip that Cobb always used. And he could adjust to a pitched ball so quickly that he could either choke up to just poke the ball or slide that left hand down for power, full extension. So that split grip, so cool. From the Georgia Peach. And that's it. So these 4 players here. Good stuff. Good stuff. I'll move this out of the way. And in fact, I'm just going to go ahead and log out of this email. So beautiful work all around. Beautiful work all around. Oh, Steve says he'll be sending me the cards. He'll be sending me cards he've done tomorrow for the Major League Baseball greats. Make them as a crazy carry. Thank you, Steve. Just on another sobering note, just remember tonight, folks, the victims of the mass shooting in California, 10 dead. And I will editorialize for a moment. I've lived in other countries, and we have our neighbor to the north. Yeah, I know they had the stabbing things going on. You know, it's not like, but you know, Canadians can own guns. And in Canada, we don't have, they're not the mass shootings that you have in Canada that we have in the United States. We need to stop our arrogance. This is my opinion, and I am not saying take away guns. I'm not. I am not. But if our neighbor to the north can have, or people can own firearms, but here we are 3 weeks into 2023, and there are 10 people whose families will have to look at that empty place at Thanksgiving and Christmas and every birthday and everything. Weddings that will happen that person won't be there. Weddings they will never attend. So let's please remember them and put everything into perspective. 10 people died tonight because the NRA refuses to do things like, a little bit stricter gun control. If Canada can do it, We certainly can. It has nothing to do with population. I lived in a country where to own a gun was very countries where to even own a gun was impossible. And I'm not saying to take away guns, but we need to take measures. 10 people died tonight that shouldn't have. So, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, right? You have to go through some serious background checks. But if I wanted to, I could hop in my vehicle and go across to Ohio, show my driver's license, and buy a weapon. Go to Texas, show the fact that I'm alive, and get a gun. We need to stop our arrogance because our arrogance people are dying. Take a stand, vote. You can still be, I don't care, even if you're a hardcore Trumper, you have to be sad about these things. And I am being political for a second because these are lives. And if we don't do anything, more people will die. We need to start doing more. And there's nobody, I don't care who you are, and I'll put this debate out there because I know there's a lot of hardcore folks in here, but you cannot convince me in any way, shape, or form that any non military, non law enforcement person needs an assault rifle. And if you are a collector, all right, tell you what, we have the science. Let's put a compound in there that those things can never be fired, and you can have all the AK-47s and AR-15s that you want. But there is no need for a private citizen to have those. Remember when our founding fathers allowed, right? This was a whole different time. There wasn't a police force, all right? And I believe with my entire soul, my entire heart, and my mind that the founding fathers would not say that, oh yeah, of course, assault weapons and everybody should, we got to get rid of them. They are military weapons. These things are made to kill. And I actually had a debate on here with a friend, and I won't say who it is, who was making the argument that you need to defend your house. Well, that's fine, and you can defend your house with a 44. You don't need an AR-15 or an AK-47. So please, 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 and you know this isn't going to be the last mass shooting of this year in the United States. 10 people tonight and 10 families grieving because the NRA and some people just don't have the balls or the compassion to do something about it. It's not a complex issue, world's worst gamer. I have to disagree with you. I will listen to your argument. You tell me why you need an assault rifle. You tell me why you need something that has to fire off that many rounds. I don't buy it. And that's nothing personal about you, world's worst gamer. You're also living in a much safer country. Yeah, 20 more notches on the NRA gun belt. That's all right. That's all right. Do you think you have a fascist government? Canada's most fascist doesn't even come close to periods in this country. So in Canada, world's worst gamer, right? You guys aren't worrying about things like, oh, we can't teach this or we can't teach that. There are school districts in the United States of America that are not teaching things like the Holocaust. They're not teaching about slavery. People are raising hell. Do you have anybody in your government like Marjorie Taylor Greene? Hey, I might make some enemies here tonight, but it is what it is. There's some things I am very left. I'm sorry. I don't. And besides, for the semi-automatic weapons, you could file those firing pins down and you have an automatic weapon. Uzis are semi-automatic weapons, and people use Uzis as automatic weapons, so weapons can be modified. I'm not saying take away guns. I just don't see why we can't have better measures. We have to do something. I'm sorry, but we have to do something. Even with pistols, Steve, again, what is the problem? I could get a gun where you live easier than where I live. And I can go to Idaho, and it's even easier in Idaho. But if I go to Washington State, right, I've got to go through some serious checks. What's wrong with checks, right? The NRA, that's an invasion of people's privacy. That's bullshit. Wayne LaPierre and the rest of them, man. That's why, you know what? Here's a very very left person who I applaud George W. Bush for leaving the NRA because of its policies. And George W. Bush is a conservative, and he sees what's wrong with the National Rifle Association. They have way too much power. Way too much power. That's a huge lobby, and it's still how many more notches? How many? Right? And what do they do? Thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers. Instead of some laws with muscle. That's it. So, that's it. You know? Clinton, you are totally missing my point. I did not say, and if this makes you and I on non speaking terms, I'm sorry, but you totally misheard me. And you're leaving. I did not say take away guns. Not once. Clinton says when you take weapons away from innocents, you're giving the criminals the upper hand. I didn't say take weapons away, so my friend, I hope you hear this. I did not say that. What I am saying is we need to institute better means. It needs to be uniform around the United States. I shouldn't be able to go to Ohio and just pick up a weapon because I can't get one in Pennsylvania. You can't wait 3 days? 3 days for a background check? So, no, Clinton, if you're upset, I'm sorry, but you misheard me, pal. I'm not saying take away guns. I'm not saying get rid of the Second Amendment. So don't misspeak me, please. So there you go. And I will say it. Crime issues. Am I anti-death penalty? Absolutely. World's worst gamer. In fact, uh, I'm actually academically published on that, and I will debate you on the death penalty any day of the week and show you why it's wrong and why it is not a deterrent. In fact, I'll leave you with this. Since I'm probably disenchanting just about everybody that I see here, and every state in the United States that is a retentionist state has a higher rate, considerably higher murder rate than abolitionist states. Any criminal I know, because I'm the son of a murderer, newsflash. So he's serving 2 consecutive life terms. He was a enforcer, and he didn't think about, oh, I might get the death penalty. No, he actually ratted to get out of it. That doesn't prevent murder. There's the Bud Welch, whose daughter was killed in the Oklahoma City bombing, said that after Timothy McVeigh was executed, that he realized that he felt no closure. He said rather there was a second death. He had become friends with McVeigh's father, and he started reaching out and finding more and more that many families who had loved ones who were murdered found that they were re-traumatized. The cost to see a death penalty case from sentencing to execution, not only because of the appeals process, is more expensive. From a religious perspective, the death penalty removes all possibility for repentance. Countries such as Taiwan and Australia have openly admitted they have executed innocents. You can look at the case of Carlos de Luna and Todd Willingham in Texas. Both Cameron Todd Willingham convicted on junk science, overturned by the country's leading arson expert, and Willingham was still executed. Carlos de Luna, it is proven that eyewitness, right? Eyewitness, that is like It's the least reliable. And they showed a picture of a man who had a long criminal record. Carlos De Luna never even had so much as a parking ticket. This guy could be De Luna's twin. I worked for somebody when I worked at University of Michigan. Her uncle was executed. The eyewitness originally said that the man was 6'2" and covered tattoos. Her uncle was 5'7" and didn't have a spot of ink anywhere. He was executed. Death penalty does not protect people. Is there any more protection if you kill a person or if you just put them in prison, life without parole, with no possibility of release? No. Oh, so okay, so pedophiles, hate them, but shouldn't the punishment fit the crime? So if you're arguing for that, retributive justice can be that. I mean, let's make no mistake. Am I talking about soft on criminals? No, you're mishearing me now too. The WEF agenda enable liberal BS that's going to destroy the NATO nations. Really, world's worst gamer? How is that? And hey, I'm glad you came here to relax. But I'm talking about 10 people that are dead tonight. It should be eye for an eye. Ah, it's called punishment. It's called the lex talionis. Ask a rabbi about that. He wrote a wonderful paper on the lex talionis, and he said that it drives him crazy that capital punishment defenders use the lex talionis, eye for an eye. He said that is not what they were talking about under Mosaic law. He said it was never meant to be a defense of capital punishment. He said actually under Mosaic law it was almost impossible that capital punishment happened, but it was actually very rare. And this rabbi talked about the real reasoning behind the lex talionis. So, and I always love what Gandhi said: an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth will make the world blind and toothless. I'm not soft on crime, but if we teach people not to murder by committing murder, I think there's a problem with that. Glad you come here to relax, and I'm sorry if you're upset. Sorry if Clinton's upset. I respect your right to speak, and I would hope you respect mine, but if you start engaging ad hominem, you tell me I sound like this kind of person and would able this and able that? Really? No, that's not me at all. You know, that's not me at all. That is not me at all. You were in a Freedom Channel earlier tonight that you go into. Well, sorry, it was stressful. You have your convictions. I have mine, and I respect people with strong convictions. So I may not agree with you, world's worst gamer, but I will respect you for being a man of conviction, and that's a good thing. And Steve and everyone else, and Clinton, you misheard me. I'm sorry. You misunderstood me. I'm not for taking guns away. Not at all. Who is free, world's worst gamer? Who's free? Who's free? Define free. Name a nation that is free. I've lived in 3 countries, world's worst gamer, and none of them are free. Well, again, Steve, there's got to be uniformity. In Pennsylvania, if you're sentenced to life, life means life. In Texas, right? So Pennsylvania, for instance, I use Pennsylvania and Texas. Texas has the highest rate of executions in the United States by far. Okay, they're up there with Vietnam and China, right? I mean, not in the same numbers, but at the same rate, Texas, right? So Texas, you could be sentenced to death, life without parole, or life with the possibility of parole after 20 years. In Pennsylvania, there's been a moratorium on the death penalty right now, and that will continue under the present governor. However, when you're sentenced to life in prison, the only way you can get out is by a possible governor, pardon by a governor. We had Tom Ridge as a governor here. So Tom Ridge, ultra conservative. Um, no murderer was ever released here under Tom Ridge. Not only from our most conservative governors to our liberal governors, um, life means life, and I know it firsthand. I know from which I speak. Remember what I just told you guys. I'm the son of a double murderer, and he's in prison. And he tried. You can get out on um, clemency by the governor, and I had to uproot my life in Europe to come back to make sure that didn't happen, and I was successful. And if there's anybody that should be for the death penalty, it's I, and I'm not. Not for him. There's no lost love there. The only way he's gonna go out of prison now is feet first, but he's gonna die naturally. But every day he's got to live with those two murders and the other crimes he committed because he's not just in for two murders. I think that's a far worse punishment, actually, than to give somebody a needle and let them go to sleep. Let them live with it. And he lives in solitary confinement 23 hours a day. And the only human contact he gets is if he has to go to the doctor or they slide the old food tray. That's it. So, no, man, I'm not here to make enemies at all. But who's free? Nobody's free. And it depends on how you want to discuss freedom, my friend. Does freedom mean do what you want? Or does freedom mean that with every right you have a corresponding responsibility? I believe that for every right you have a corresponding responsibility. And I find it ironic when people talk about innocence and taking away guns from them. I will say this, though I am not for taking away guns, I will say this. How were those 10 innocents served tonight in California? You know? You know what? He doesn't get to breathe the free air, doesn't get the sunshine. Yeah, I get to make love to my girlfriend whenever I want. He hasn't had a woman in 40 years and solitary confinement, pal. I'll take it. I'll take that any day because I don't want anybody murdering in my name, even if it's a person I hate. That's me. So, but again, you know, if your idea of freedom is everybody has guns and there's no laws, right? Is a free society even possible? And no, please don't accuse me, my friend. I'm not accusing you of being some right-wing fascist, not at all. So, let's keep this on the issues, man. I'm not trying to establish some agenda. I'm asking for a simple thing, and what I don't get is why people are having trouble with just wanting to look in to see what options there are. It's barbarism, man. Mexico doesn't even have the mass shootings that we have, for God's sake. I don't want to take away your guns, and if any I hear of anybody coming out of this saying that I said tonight we should take away guns and blah blah blah, I will have nothing to do with you anymore. Do never misspeak me, guys. I'm a nice person, but don't misrepresent my words. And don't run away butthurt. I never said to take away guns, ever. And I am not saying be soft on crime. I'm a liberal, but don't mistake that for being a soft person. I'm not. And there's an edge in my voice because I don't like to be accused of something I'm not. I really don't. Whether anybody chooses to come back or not, I'm going to continue to exercise my right as you're exercising yours, and I'm allowing your comments, even those that are attacking me. Do remember that before you go out the door. That I'm not attacking anybody here, but I'm getting attacked. And I'm not booting any of you guys because I do have the power to do it, and I'm not because I like you guys. And you do bring up good points. You do. Well, you know, World's Worst Gamer, when you tell me I sound like this and I sound like that, I'm not trying to force an agenda except let's respect life. Let's do something. If we do nothing, people will continue to die. We got to at least say we tried. That's what we have to say, you know? We do. It's called talking. But see, there you go. Liberals, of course, say their enemy's attacking. Um, I'm not going to go down to that level except to say that I don't know how many times in the last presidency, um, I heard that this innocent president was being attacked, and yet he was just fined $1 million today for something, and whatever. I don't care. I've made it. I don't make it any secret. I don't like Donald Trump. He's an idiot. Should have never been the president of this country. Much better Republicans. John McCain, my God, how he disrespected John McCain, how he disrespected Gold Star families, how he disrespected veterans of World War One by not showing up at the centenary. I was living in there, and every other world leader was there except Donald Trump. So when conservatives come after liberals, we call it attacking. What happens when liberals go after conservatives? Well, we're called snowflakes and Antifa and all that stuff. It rolls both ways, my friend. It rolls both ways, you know? Hey, how you doing there, Mike? Good to see you. I'm not assuming, but I'm talking about extreme cases. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Donald Trump. Who's this guy? The new Speaker of the House that took what 15 ballots to get in. I have no idea whether I don't know whether you're liberal, conservative. You could be libertarian. You strike me as a libertarian, but I don't know. I really don't know your politics. But so what is it? Because we do hear it. We do hear it. It's both sides. The sad thing is this country is more divided now than it was before the Civil War. It really is. And that's sad when we have so much to offer. The wealthiest country in the world, and we have homeless, and we have single parents trying to hold down 2 and 3 jobs. We have school districts who have students, and I know of which I speak to, where students are sharing textbooks from 1992. Teachers who in this country are treated like a step above. I don't know what this is a in other countries, teachers are respected, paid well, highest performing students in the world. Finland, look it up. What are we doing here that we could do better? We could do better. We pay our teachers shit. And teachers pay their own salaries for these inner city kids to just get them pencils and papers and what have you. And a guy that a lot of people hate, Bill Gates, is giving away his fortune, and a lot of these are going to school districts like Detroit and inner city Chicago and Pittsburgh and New York, and I respect that. And I know that there are conservatives doing the same thing, and I respect that too. And baseball players bickering over millions. Yep, exactly. Is he? Is he? I don't know if he is or not. I have no idea. I have no idea, world's worst gamer. If you're saying that, I guess that's either your opinion unless there's proof. I'm talking about what I know, and that was a former billionaire giving away his fortune. Yeah, his wife that he's divorced from. Okay. Again, I'm not going to get into an argument about Bill Gates. I'm merely offering that there are wealthy people out there that are giving away their money. If Bill Gates is a pedophile, then if his wife, who he divorced, confirmed it, it's not like Bill Gates is a hero of mine. Then I guess he should be arrested and should be serving time. I don't know how many times. I have no idea. I have no idea. I have no idea. And, you're innocent until proven guilty. So I'm not going to say whether he is or not. I have no idea. If Melinda Gates says he was, well, then law enforcement probably needs to look into that, right? Anyhow, thoughts and prayers and whatever. I'll just use that terminology because nothing else will get done. 10 people are dead tonight in California that should not be. And that is all I'm trying to prove. And if viewership goes down or whatever, you know what? I will say this. I'm not attacking anybody in here for what you say. You all have wrenches because I like all of you, no matter what your political leanings are. Um, but all I ask is you don't misspeak me. That's all. Do not misrepresent what I've said. All right? Keep your guns, man. I would be among the first. I would stand shoulder to shoulder with any of you if the United States government tried to take away your weapons. And you need to understand that. You know? You need to understand that. I will stand right with you against the government and say, no, this is a violation of the Second Amendment to the Constitution. Just as I'm a vociferous defender of the First Amendment to the Constitution. Oh, I know you can, Steve. I know you can. Who's trying to take what away, World's Worst Gamer? Who's they? You talking about the Yankees? Somebody trying to take the Yankees away? That wouldn't bother me, but what are you talking about? A disarmed population is easy to control. How many countries have you lived in, World's Worst Gamer? I'm curious. I'm really asking uh, just for my own knowledge. How many countries have you lived in? I've lived in two where you basically can't own a firearm. Now, I'm not saying we need to follow that, but in those countries, I have seen free speech and demonstration the way it should be done. Absolutely free speech. You would have police there to just control crowds so people didn't get out of hand and start fighting or do things like, oh, I don't know, storm the Capitol. So, yeah, Ireland and the Netherlands. And it's very, very free speech there. Very free. I'm not saying that Ireland and the Netherlands are better countries, but certainly in both of those countries, there was never a sense of people being controlled at all. Now you're misspeaking me again. You are misspeaking me again, but I'm going to take this on a 10 because there's a 10-second lag here, my friend. You're saying if you're going to say the disarmed population isn't easier to control, I'm telling lies? Oh, come on, man. Really? Have you been there? I know why the IRA came about. Do you forget where I'm from? What do you think the IRA is? And what do you think? What do you know about the Ulster Volunteer Force? You want to argue about Ireland? Okay, let's talk Ireland if you'd like. What do you think the IRA is? Why did it come about? Do you know about Michael Collins? Do you know about Bobby Sands? Yeah, I know you're Irish. So tell me you tell me, my friend, how did it come about? Oh, of course. Well, Steve, it's the same thing that people who are afraid to fly. But if you published in the United States every car accident, every fatal car accident, nobody would get in a car. Flying is the safest way to travel. Well, actually, thinking is the safest way to travel. But yes, I do. World's worst gamer. I am Irish, Irish, Irish. I do know of the potato famine. I do. I absolutely do. Do you know about Joseph Plunkett? Do you know about Wolfe Tone? I do know about it. And I'll tell you this, as far as being Irish, I bleed green, my friend. I hate seeing the orange on the Irish flag. The 6 counties need to be returned and Ireland one country. So I think you can kind of get underneath what I'm about when I say that. If I say Shakalar la, do you understand that in Irish? Shakalar la. Some of the deadliest. Yep. Funny thing about Vegas, when did Vegas really turn deadly? When the mafia lost control. Let's face it. Okay, well, that means what I just said. It means our day is coming. Shakalarla. And I can put it in chat. You may have seen it. And no, it's not a terrorist slogan. It's Irish Gaels. D. Scott Howard says, one of my old professors gave up his years flying after being in a bad car wreck. Yeah, California by far has the most, by far, in a mass shooting, 3 more victims. Yeah, so California not doing its job, whatever. Who knows where the guy get the gun? Who knows? I think he's dead. Last time I read. So, bye bye, dude. Glad the cops got you, unless it was a self-inflicted gunshot. Oh, so you recognize? Yeah. Well, you know, as far as Gaelic, the phonemes and the graphemes don't match up. You'll also see this as graffiti in some parts of the north. So if you see that, you know you're in a. In fact, in Londonderry, there is an open defiance of the UK government that says "Welcome to free dairy." As Carlos Cias says, I'm always late to these videos. Nah, we're just like we're talking now. So just for talking sake here. So a topic about what? About Ireland, Steve, or about mass shootings? Which one? Yeah, we are far away from baseball at this point. We can agree on one thing, world's worst gamer. I think. Did you say you like the Yankees or you don't like the Yankees? I, for one, am not a Yankee fan. So, and some people will get angry at that, especially Yankees fans. Why do you hate the Yankees? I don't know. I hate the Yankees, man. Just because. But anyhow, yeah, 1980. Yeah, pre 1982. Yeah, dude. Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Mickey Mantle, Joe DiMaggio, Frankie Crosetti, Yogi Berra. I mean, they had Don Larson. Yankees have a storied franchise, man. We have a Cubs fan in here. There you go. Stan Hack, Gabby Hartnett, Hack Wilson, Mark Grace. Yankees do have a great history. I like them pre-Steinbrenner. Crime reporting, police training, investigation. Okay, gotcha. Okay, got you. Oh, so investigating police conduct. Good. Oh yeah, Steve, I don't doubt you at all. I thought we were sort of veering off into Ireland, and I was kind of surprised that you would have um, made an interest deep into Irish history. Wouldn't well, no, it wouldn't surprise me actually, considering all the wizardry you do here. You could be very much into it. But no, world's worst gamer. Like I said, I respect your opinions. Lived there. I am Irish. Did a lot of advanced work and things and stuff that no point getting into great detail about that. But yeah, it should be one country. I know why the IRA is there. And I don't excuse the provisional IRA for what they've done. They've become a bunch of, drug dealers. And the Ulster Volunteer Force is no better than the IRA, the Protestant side of it. They do car bombs and they do them well too. And I say that well, not in a nice way. I don't mean that these are great guys because they blow up Catholics. You walk through some neighborhoods, man. these days in 2023, and you're still going to see Protestant bus stops and Catholic bus stops. And it's not even about Catholic versus Protestant. It's all about economics and the fact that the vote for a united Ireland that was promised after the First World War never came. So, in a way, Great Britain gave birth to the Irish Republican Army. And as far as the potato famine, as you know, Oliver Cromwell, and he hated the Irish, but then when you got into the potato famine in the 19th century, the British Prime Minister at the time basically said, let them starve. So the hatred runs deep. It's deep. I don't hate the British. I don't. But there is a deep hatred there. There's a deep, deep hatred on both sides. And I hope it ends. And I hope that perhaps the British Parliament will finally say, we don't need Northern Ireland strategically anymore, because they don't. And give Ireland back to the Irish, like Paul McCartney sang. Just give it back. Yeah, neither did mine. But you know what? I don't. I didn't hate Queen Elizabeth, although which is kind of funny because she was monarch during the Troubles, but there's nothing she could really do. But I would like to see a British monarch speak out and say, it's time. We were the invaders in Ireland, and it's time to return the 6 counties so that Ireland is once again united. I hope it happens. Don't think I'm going to live to see it, though. Oh my God. D. Scott Howard says, a cousin of mine bought a Tesla. Now all he watches is Tesla crash videos. He won't ride with him. I used to work for Tesla's major competition. I used to work for Porsche. So I didn't bother. I don't drive a Porsche, but I never bothered watching any Porsche crash videos. I'm sure those are out there too. Especially when you look at Porsches, oh my God, what is that thing called now? And it can go from 0 to 60 in it's an electric car, 2.7 seconds. The Taycan. Holy shit. Hatred is not good, of course. Politics say we should forgive. Maybe the politicians should do the same. I hope so, Carlos Cias. I hope. At the end of the day, I like you guys, what you believe or what you don't believe. I mean, I would say if somebody came in here and started spouting fascist, real fascist stuff and racist stuff, your ass would be out of here so fast. And, but we don't have to agree. One thing we come together for is our love of baseball and this beautiful, beautiful game, this national pastime. And I think that's what's the really important thing. But all I want to do is just remember those 10 people tonight. And I will continue to remember them in my own way, in my prayers and everything. Goes 100 miles per hour, but can't go 100 miles. Steve Tate says, well, if you only uh, drove maybe one or two tonight Beatles, then gained back one or two. You know what, Steve? I'm not going to be. I always want to be honest here, and I'm going to close it off by saying this to you guys. And again, I'm kind of upset that Clinton, hurt that Clinton misheard me. Uh, because you can go back if you want to sit through all this crazy stuff. I never said take away guns. I would fight that tooth and nail, man. I don't want anybody to lose their firearms. Not at all. But, you know, I've always said of everybody, really of everybody in this community, man, I'm no sportscaster. Ron Juckett, he's really good. Christopher Slovic is probably the best. Our Red Sox fan is awesome. Dave Little is really, really, really good. Listen to him call a basketball game. RGL Network makes cards and dice super entertaining. So does Utah. Sports Time Machine, Mr. Utah, and Mike. I'm on here to talk to you guys, and you know that. We talk baseball. We stare at rosters. We love this game, you know. But I'm always going to be honest with you guys, and I would rather you, if you dislike me, because I'm honest, well, it's better than being disliked because you're dishonest. And you know, I respect all of you because all of you have convictions, including you there, world's worst gamer. You're awesome, dude. As a person, you're awesome. What you believe may not be what I believe, but that's okay. You're still welcome here. You have a home here. And on that Discord and everything like that, doesn't matter to me, man. What matters is that you love baseball, you know? D. Scott Howard, he said, if I didn't drink beer with people I disagree with, I'd be drinking alone. Ain't that the truth? That is true. Most of my friends are not liberals. And you know what? We talk, we like this, and sometimes it gets heated, but at the end of the day, we raise a Guinness or we drink a Jameson's, and we're all good. We're all good. Yeah, except I don't think he is the world's worst gamer. So, uh, Carlos Diaz says, and I've been saying Carlos Diaz, but I see now Carlos Diaz. He says he loves the old baseball pre-free agency, old school. Oh, you're apologizing, buddy? Don't apologize. This what we're doing here. This Ned McGreevy League. This is 1880 to 1919. We're going to be doing 1960s next, and then later on we're doing Negro Leagues. This is pretty much an old school baseball channel. So you're in the right place, pal. Pre-DH. Yeah. So guys, not meaning to, and if I have in any way implied any character assassination, mea culpa, that is not my intent. We can disagree, and I'm fine with it. It's all good, and we can debate. But at the end of the day, we love this game. And that's what's important, ultimately. And we're friends hanging out tonight, and we're all safe in our homes. And I think that's what struck me tonight, why I just thought of those 10 people. And all the debate in the world at the end of the day isn't going to bring those 10 souls back. It's not. But I think they deserve to be remembered in some way, just as we're going to be remembering these great Negro League players, just as we're remembering the 19th century and dead ball players, right? And to reach out. And no matter what, we all share one thing in common, my friends. We're all human beings. And I don't know what your belief systems are, whether you believe we're an accident, whether you believe we're created by, right, we're made by some intelligent creator, um, or what have you. But at the end of the day, we can all agree that we are all part of, you know what Carl would say, Carl Sagan would say, we're made of star stuff. But I think it's a connection. It's connections that we've made in here that I hope that we can continue to make, and that we can make every day that we're alive, because we're not guaranteed tomorrow. And I just want to finish by saying those 10 people, they got up, they had plans. Don't know what they were. Maybe there were some bad people killed there today. I don't know. Some of those people had plans. Some of them said goodbye to their loved ones for the last time, not knowing that. Maybe they had an argument with their significant other, one person, even one out of that 10. And their significant other said, "You're a son of a bitch." And that's the last words they ever said. And imagine the horror that you lived with, and that you get that call from the police. Your wife's dead, your husband's dead. And you know that the last thing you said to that person is, "You're a son of a bitch." And you can never take those words back. So that's it. That is it. But I do respect all you guys. I truly do, as I say every time I close down, that I do appreciate each and every one of you, and I mean it. Smallest channel on YouTube here, really, for anybody that's been doing this for any length of time. I took 2 years off. I've been doing this for 2 years or so, with a couple years off here and there. And may have lost some subscribers tonight, and maybe even lost some friends. And, you know, the losing the friends part sucks. But if That is what it is. It is what it is. I can't help that. So, I'm not saying you need respect, but there's nothing wrong if a person says that they respect you, my friend, because you have conviction. And I would rather deal with somebody who has conviction than somebody who just says, "Oh, I can go either way on the issue." Seriously. No. So I'll miss it tomorrow, but Steve says he's going to probably go live midday tomorrow to explain some more on the Negro League and Major League Baseball grades file. Cool, guys. Sounds good. I'm, because of my work schedule, probably not going to be back for a little while. So do check out what Steve's doing. Check out all the other content creators. Robbie Wartberg, Clee Baseball 879, Steve Tate. Do subscribe to their channels. Good stuff all the way around. And there you go. And you guys are doing some basketball chat. I'll just leave the chat up for a few minutes. So that way we don't just preemptively end what you guys are talking about. One more stogie, and there we go. So thank you one and all, seriously, and even for the discussion. Not just for the baseball, for the discussion. Oh, I know that. You didn't even have to say that, world's worst gamer. You're a good guy. I know you are a good guy. Never any question about that. He says, I will say that yes, it is sad that lives lost needlessly is awful. Absolutely. It is. So, we'll get through it yet. We'll get through it yet somehow, some way. So, there we go. So, look for Steve Tate tomorrow about midday. I think you really, really are going to just be fascinated by what he's doing with these players and how that's going to work with the major league greats and all the other kinds of stuff. It's absolutely wonderful what he's doing, and there will be a web page that will get out there, not only for baseball related stuff, but also to provide a mechanism whereby we can thank Steve with a few presidential portraits. Steve's having a blast doing it, which is nice. Carlos Yaz says, I think something happened bad today in the world. Yeah, there was a mass shooting in California. Carlos, 10 people dead. So, anyhow, I stayed in house all day today because I did 9 hours of work yesterday and then 4 hours of music. No, 5 hours of music last night. I'm actually knackered. I don't even know what the hell I'm still doing here. And get to do it all again this week. Good night to you, Steve. Take care, my friend. So, D. Scott says that he saw Yastrzemski's last game in Seattle. Cool. World's worst gamer. Staying home is better for him, he says, than subjecting oneself to many people out there these days. All right, everybody saying good night to Steve. And Carlos says he watched IU basketball and the F ball games. So, Carlos, on here, I call it F ball because that's a sport. Um, Basketball, yeah, but F ball. So I call it F ball. So, but it's all good. You can call it what it is. So, okay, so you're interested in those two. Night. So Steve taking off, and we're gonna close it down here in a few minutes. 1:49 a.m. Why the hell not? So Twin Bill tonight, and Manchester now comfortably 2 games in front of Philadelphia. It's going to be a tangle going down the stretch, as the title says. All right, Ken. Have a good night, my friend. Carlos calls soccer kickball. And I call soccer football, and I call it in America F-ball. So soccer kickball. Oh my God. So D. Scott watched football and F-ball today. All right, guys. Everybody take care. Don't know when I'm going to be back on again just because of my work schedule. Try to squeeze a game in when I can this week. Um, Realistically, though, I don't want to make any promises. There might be some baseball for Windows stuff, perhaps Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but nothing at all tomorrow at all. Peace to everyone. Yeah, to everyone. I'm not going to end it with that because that's the way Al ends it. So I'm going to end it the way I do it. And we have so many. Carlos says, take care, Beatles. Hopefully, catch a full game. Hope you will too, Carlos. Yes. And I would just say thank you to everybody on the just on the short tonight because there's so many. Long chat. And I will end it by saying what I always say. I'll see you guys around the batting cage. And I do truly appreciate each and every one of you. All right. Good night. Or good morning, as the case may be.